The reason there's no audio is half the time now I forget to unmute, and I used to always unmute. I used to always unmute, and then we went to Foxwoods, and when I came back from Foxwoods, I hadn't streamed in a week, so I forgot everything. So I don't remember to unmute anymore. I don't know why. I mean, I did that for like a year and a half, and then after not streaming for a week, I forget half the time. And now I didn't stream for 2 days. I didn't stream Friday or Saturday, so I forgot to unmute again. Anyway, I was saying, chess.com sucks. I hate chess.com. I was checking my chess TV schedule, and I'm on 7 to 9, so I'll start in an hour, which I'm supposed to be on. I tried to get more time on chess TV, but they ghosted me. I don't know why. I sing their praises a lot. Except for one thing. Yeah. Yeah, if anybody's worse than chess.com, I don't know who it is. Everybody who works there is the worst. Lee Chess is worse? I doubt it. Or Lee Chess is better. Lee Chess gang, I don't know what that means. All I know is nobody's worse than chess.com. Boo, chess.com. Hi, I'm a chess.com streamer. Look at me. But yeah, they suck pretty badly. Horrible company. I wouldn't be a chess.com streamer, but Karen makes me. But if she's like, fuck chess.com, which I hope she says eventually, then yeah. Yeah, I'm a chess.com streamer, yeah. I mean, Lee Chess is no good either, but better than chess.com. I have seltzer water because it's cheaper. Although I did have Perrier last night. It's Karen. Did you make yourself all pretty?
Yeah, and I had to make sure the garage was open and do a couple of
And
things.
then the first minute of the stream, I was on mute. I forgot to unmute.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, chess.com mad, and then they didn't hear me.
What are you mad at them about?
I'm always mad at them.
Yeah.
I asked them for more chess TV time 3 times, and they ghosted me. And then so listen to this.
Hey, Born and Oz.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Who's on before me? Chess Bras. Then I'm on Chess TV. Then Chess Bras again. They're on 4 hours tonight.
Hola.
And I'm on like 4 hours a week.
Well, it's not Chess Bra's fault.
No, I'm not mad at Chess Bras.
Yeah,
I'm mad at chess.com.
Hey, Soccer Puppy. Missed you too. How's it going?
Yeah.
Hey, Thaddeus.
Yeah, they're the
Panda
worst.
Squirrel. Cabbage Kid. Well, I think that there's one guy who shall remain nameless.
Who, Schroth? Yeah. Yeah.
And he's in charge of the chess TV stuff.
Right. So I said something and he said something back. Then I responded, and I keep responding, and ghosted me for 3 weeks.
So his communication is pretty poor, but he has hooked you up before to give him a little credit. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I can send him a follow-up note if you want.
It doesn't matter what you do; they don't answer. No, you should probably talk to Danny Wrench about it. I probably just got to talk to Danny and say, Shroth is ghosting me. I don't have enough chess TV time, and go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Let
Ben.
me just ask him
it's
one
not
more
signed
time.
or lovingly, actually lovingly, go fuck yourself, Ben.
Well, it's probably better to be nice first and then get.
I said lovingly before the GFY.
Right. So let me, if you'll remind me, because there are 2 or 3 things I need to be reminded about: the windshield and like when we get off stream, or I can write it down now if you give me that pad. But bottom line is, I think we should be nice.
No.
And remind Shroth.
You ever see me nice? Terrible.
It's just better than not being nice. I don't want to deal with any drama.
Anyway, chess.com is banned. If anybody from chess.com comes on my stream, they're banned.
All right, let me write it down. Message Shroff.
Yay, Cage Bruno, yeah. Tell him Ben sent you 3 messages about his chess TV time, and he wants more time in his schedule now, and you've been ignoring him.
All right, I got it.
And then say some kind of Nazi slurs.
No.
And then the German authorities will decide whether or not to ban my stream.
No, I just send him.
So far, we're 1-0.
I think he's just disorganized.
He's German. He's disorganized. Just don't think so. Thaddeus, 99 cents.
Well, I don't know his background. He's got a German-sounding name, but he probably has never even been there.
Bam. No, he's German. He lives in Germany.
He does?
Yes.
He really does?
Yes.
He doesn't have an accent at all.
So when I was in Europe, I'm not saying this happens now. All Germans learned English in school.
They do, but
when they were kids.
Kangaroo has excellent.
Kangaroo wasn't born in Germany.
English.
He's like Russian or something.
Oh.
No, he's not. Yeah.
But okay.
No. Yeah.
Hey, Big Daddy, how's it going?
Thanks, Thaddeus. Thanks,
There will
Big
be
Daddy.
no Nazi slurs.
You always have this up here. That's so terrible.
What was the other thing? Oh, yeah, the one.
That's better. Yeah, and then become a Lee Chess streamer. Write that down.
There are no perks to being a Lee Chess streamer.
They'll announce your streaming, maybe.
At all. No, they have like a list that they keep
Ugh.
of who's streaming. Yeah, there's no reason to go over there.
No, just because I hate chess.com for spite.
It's not,
Check off spite.
it's not chess.com. It's just one guy.
It's not Danny Wrench? Wow.
You know,
Everybody there's the worst.
Danny has his strong points.
No. Go, Big Daddy.
That's true. Your rating on Lee Test would be about 5,000.
At least.
That's true. Yeah, everything's good.
Not anymore. Karen, you're making me feel bad.
Well, what I mean by that is Ben actually gets contractually some things from chess.com. Like he gets some raids from them, and he gets Chess TV time.
No.
Oh, okay, good. You're kidding. I would never want to make CL Smith feel bad.
Well, obviously he's kidding.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would, there's nothing wrong with Lee Chess, but they don't have any perks. Danny has a strong point without mentioning what that particular point is.
You said he has his strong points.
That's true.
Yeah, which obviously he doesn't.
Well, he's
Very off-putting.
very energetic.
Blah. That's even worse.
He does care about people.
You know who's not energetic?
Even though he doesn't always treat people the right way, he does
But you know who's not energetic?
Who?
Schroth.
He's a slacker.
He's not energetic. Even when he's working, he's like, okay.
But, so I would say that Danny has good intentions, but he's also very, very into his job. So at times, maybe people aren't treated fairly because he's looking at not balancing the businesses with the people. And he's publicly admitted that on various occasions. I was looking for...
Did you know Ben rhymes with Karen? It does not.
The emote.
If you pronounce her name wrong, it does. If you say Karen and
What?
Ben...
Oh, here it is.
But you don't really say N like Ben. Say Karen. It's a very subtle difference that nobody would know, right? And she would say something like Karen because she's from the
Thank you,
South.
Wally Renfield, for the sub.
See, when she was born, they're like, let's name her Karen.
Oh, you were my second round opponent.
Yay! Boo! You beat Karen. Boo!
Boo.
The hype train is close.
I
Chess.com's never given me a cent pushed upon.
I hung a piece.
They don't pay me for anything.
It was still an interesting game. It was a very
Boo.
interesting game. We had a lot of people watching our game, Wally Renfield. Yeah, and you were very nice. Nice to have met you.
When's my next lecture in the St. Louis Chess Club? Soon. Soon. Very soon. Not too soon. Very soon.
Yeah.
One of our videos we posted like 4 days ago has 100 million views. I don't know why it's why you guys all suck and you don't really suck. You have low ratings. And then people love that. I don't know. Terrible.
I didn't even know that it had been made into a clip until somebody at the tournament in the sitting next to me in the first round said I saw the clip where you said we're all in the shit section.
Now, wait, you said that,
And
not
no,
me, right?
he said I said that, but
I
then
didn't.
But then I said, "Oh, there's a clip," and then I got on YouTube and it was there.
When I was walking around the tournament rounds 1, 2, and 3 yesterday and Friday night, I mean, some of the games, I was looking at some of the games and I was like, what is this? These guys are worse than me. Man. Yeah, some of the games don't make any sense. The moves are just nonsensical. And I'm like, what? Why would you go there? Why would your opponent go there? Why would you go there? And I'm shaking my head derisively, texting Nakamura in the tournament room. Can you believe this crap? Sending him pictures.
I mean, we're lower rated.
Yeah,
That's
terrible.
the way it is when you're down here.
But you don't have to look dumber. When you play, you look like a chess player, right?
Yeah.
You sit there. Some of the people in the bottom section, when they're playing, it looks like they're going
No,
Yeah.
that's not true.
It is true that this is true, and if you play in tournaments, you'll back me up.
I have not
Anybody
noticed.
who's played in a tournament will back up this statement, except her. If you go to if you look at people, you can tell how good they are. In the top section, they look stronger than the weaker section. There's exceptions, but not many. Like you look at a guy and you're like, all right, that guy's in the lower section. Get out of here. Terrible.
No, I mean, they're trying their best.
No,
Focused.
not trying their best.
Yeah.
You're trying your best. They're not. Yeah, he said I'm right. I've told people who don't play chess that, and they look and they're like, yeah. Like the good players look different.
I mean, I see that with kids where they're looking around.
Oh, yeah.
But
No kids,
all
though.
the adults,
But-
though, were focused.
But remember Kasparov, that look where he's scary? That's
Yeah.
a good look. Now you're talking.
Yeah, I didn't
I
play,
look like lower section fodder.
I didn't play the best chess.
You played second best. Big money.
I enjoyed my
Hey,
game
that is
with
big
Wally
money. Look,
Renfield.
Marriott today.
Yay, thank you, Marriott today. But you know,
That's correct, Marriott today. That's capitalism for you. That's right.
me Peck's asking, was it more enjoyable because there were no kids? I would say that's part of it. It was fun to only have adults, but it was a big enough tournament that we had nice full sections, but it was a little bit over 100 people.
Man, Karen like dropped an F-bomb like every 5 seconds, even during her game.
What?
Like she blundered a piece, went fuck, because there are no kids around.
No.
So it was an unusual tournament.
But I like the fact that it was small enough that you felt like you got to talk to some of the same people between rounds. Whereas these huge tournaments, you know, you know people are there that you know really well, and you don't even see them the whole time.
Stranger are danger. The answer is yes. I did win the top senior. I was the top old person in my section. Hooray for being old.
I really don't mind playing kids.
Yeah, but tricks are for kids.
He's joking. I wasn't cursing. And you're not allowed to curse in the middle of a chess tournament.
Well, that tournament may be. And so forth. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so round one, I played a guy rated about 1980, and I had the black pieces. This game did not go well, but things improved later. Okay, so I played the Sicilian, which I do, and my opponent played knight c3. Now, I used to play knight c6, but when I face unusual variations, not that this is that unusual, but it's not the most common, I like to get out of theory as early as possible so my opponents don't play like 20 moves of prep. Right, sweetie? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I played a6, recommended by Spencer, which I've played before. One of the times that I played this, I was playing a 2200 in Vegas, and he played a4. Frankly, terrible. Okay, this guy played g3 and b5, and we got this position. Okay, so this is where I made my first mistake. Before I show you, I want to show you something I looked at to show you how dumb I am. Okay? Pay attention. I played here, and I played here. And when I did, I was thinking, and I have a beard. If my opponent plays knight f3, and I take, he can play knight to g5 or knight to d2. And, try to get his pawn back because of the pin. I didn't know if that was good or not. The engine says it's not good. The engine likes black here. But he doesn't lose any material. Okay. And I saw that. And I said, well, he probably won't do that because that's probably not good. But I saw the possibility that it's possible to do that. But in this position, I didn't see I could do it. I can play d5. I played b4 so I could play d5. And then if he takes it, I play knight f6. And the pawn spin to his bishop. And then I can take back, and this is fine for black. So if I can play d5 without b4, I would rather do that because b4 is a little weakening, giving up the c4 square, the a4 square. And this makes it easier for him to open the queen side if I castle queen side. Hard to castle king side because, like that. So b4 is slightly inaccurate, but the engine doesn't care. It just says it's equal. I'll show you where my real mistake comes in. Okay, so now I thought the game was over because he has connect 4. Okay, but I did get the old man prize in the section for thinking that. Okay, I played knight h6 because you got to put it in h. And here I made my first very bad move. I should just play like a normal person and play like knight c6, bishop e7, castles, etc. And the position's equal. Instead, I played the terrible knight f5. Very bad move. Terrible. Now, this happened to me several times in the tournament. Now, when I'm playing chess, I look at variation A, B, C, D, E, and usually the variations I look at are, what's the word? Innocuous. They're not, it's not like I'm sacking a piece. They're just, boring. And I'm like, if this happens, some sequence of moves, what do I think of that? The last few years, what happens is I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Then as the sequence is happening, I'm like, God, that's horrible.
Well, if you weren't going to put it on the night there, where was it going to go? It's over there on the side.
Oh, here? No, I can go here later.
So you should have stayed on the side?
Yeah, I should stay here, and I should play bishop e7, knight c6, castles, and play here later. Yeah. Okay. And the reason it's bad is because of a forcing sequence. I saw the forcing sequence, and I was like, oh, that's fine. Then when it happens, I'm like, this isn't fine. Why did I do that? And I do that all the time. Every game this tournament, I'll show you instances of that, except the last round. I'm like, so here, there's one forcing move for white, Karen. White has one forcing move. One. Okay, well, let me look. One forcing move. One.
Move your hand. I can't see.
One. Thanks, LV20SWD, for the sub.
One forcing move. I mean, it had to be something like a capture.
It's not a capture. It's not a check. So it's a threat.
A threat, all right.
What's the biggest thing you can threaten? You covet what is close to you. Silence of the Lambs.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to find it.
Okay.
Let's see it.
You know who would see it? Which will give the answer away, so I won't say.
All right.
If you find the answer, then you tell me who would see it.
All right. I'm not going to look forever, but I'll look in a moment.
Okay.
I just don't see it at the
Okay.
Threat. Yeah, I haven't seen any of Ben's games because I was playing too. I mean, if you move d4, even you're attacking, but that's just it's protected at the moment. I don't see it. You're gonna have to help.
Okay, g4. Attacks my knight.
Oh, I got confused. I thought it was Black's move.
You said d4.
I know. I was talking about for Black to try to gang up on.
Oh, no, Black just played here.
So I know, and I just got confused. I'm tired.
So g4.
So I didn't even look in the right thing.
Right. Matt Larson would suggest that.
You would. Okay.
Now, after g4, the only move that makes any sense, from my perspective, I've just played knight f5.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to go back to h6? Then why did I do that?
Right.
If I play knight d4, I lose a pawn.
Okay.
Knight e7 is silly. Knight h6 to f5 to d7. So my idea is to play knight h4. So I did. And he takes, and I take, and he plays knight g3. So I get this position, and I'm like, why did I do this? Like, why? How did that? That didn't help me at all. My queen's like almost trapped. Like if he plays g5, my queen's trapped. And he can castle. He can play f5 soon. And I had this nice knight here that was controlling the king's side, and I just traded it off by moving it 50 times. And then to trade off a piece. And then my queen is misplaced. So this is really, really dumb. So knight f5 is just really dumb. I've already moved my knight. It's time to move other pieces.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, this is a ridiculous move. Okay. So I played knight c6, and he played c3, so I was PO'd. Now I thought forever. And I'm like, well, if I play a normal developing move like bishop e7, I mean, my queen's trapped. So I don't like that. So I thought a long time here. And the engine says h5. After h5, g5, my queen's really trapped. So I don't like that. It's scary. it still says white has a nice advantage. So I decided to go back. Never going back. Queen d8. Yeah, once I have a black queen, I never go back. But I did. Okay. Now the engine says he's already +1. Okay. That's because he went to a wedding.
I'm sorry, I was reading that. What? About the wedding?
He went to a wedding, so +1. Okay.
I didn't get it.
You know, when you go to a wedding, it says you were invited +1.
Oh, or to a party even. Yeah.
Well, anywhere, but I made it obvious.
Okay.
Okay, castle. A queen e2, bishop e7, bishop d2, queen c7. I haven't decided where to castle yet. Okay. Now, this position really sucks. The engine says white's only slightly better. Problem with black's position is black doesn't have a lot to do. And what I did is recommended by the engine. It says, oh, you play great. Great moves, Ben. And I got to a position where I couldn't legally win. The risk for a higher rated player playing a much lower rated player in this instance is always the position will get too blocked up and nobody can win. Now, if you're playing somebody your own rating, you hardly care about that. Because if both of you want to win, you won't do that. But my opponent doesn't want to win. My opponent wants to draw. So if he can see a way to block up the whole position, then he would take that. Of course, that shouldn't happen here. However, the engine says that's the best way for me to play. If I want to play the right moves and not get a very bad position, I have to do things that I can't win. And I didn't see the position was getting all blocked up because I'm an idiot. So if I could play the game again, I would not play the engine moves. I would play bad moves and open this position up. And I would have a very bad position, and probably I would win because he's 1980. Right, sweetie? Mm-hmm. I'll wait till you're done.
I have to text Holden. You can keep going.
All right. Usually he calls when I'm streaming.
He did. He FaceTimed me, but I had
Oh, yeah,
the
that's
sound
right.
off.
Yeah, he waits till I'm streaming. He knows. Mm-hmm. He's watching the stream.
He and I were supposed to talk about his move out and stuff, but I just told him I'll call him in a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So here I played g6. I said if I castle kingside, I'll just get run over. And if I play f6, my e6 pawn's going to get run over. And at some point, he'll play knight h5, putting it in h. So I played g6. And my intention was I'll play h5, sacrificing a pawn. I'll castle queenside. I'll play rook dg8. And I think I'm worse, but very interesting. Now, the engine doesn't agree with me. It says I'm not worse. It says that pawn sack is great. And that if he takes it, I'm better. Okay, and during the game, I just thought, I have to sack a pawn, I have to castle queenside, and I have to hope for the best, because if I castle kingside, my king's no good. And he has too much space on the king side. Okay, he played a3, and I did it again. I made the engine move. All my moves are engine moves, and I can't legally win. You can't make moves where you can't win when your opponent's 500 points lower rated. You have to make bad moves so you can win. So I'm starting not to like this a6 line because about 10, 15 years ago in Indiana, I played a 2180. I played a6, b5, and it also got blocked up and nobody could win. It must be me. I don't know. It's my deodorant. I don't know. So here I played the engine move. And again, if I played this game again and somehow I got this position, I would not play the engine move. I wouldn't do it. But I'm trying to play the best moves, but trying is the first step to failure. When I play the best moves, I'm failing. Okay? Now, when I play g6, I'm going to castle queenside. I'm not going to castle kingside and let him play f5 and mate me. And if I castle queenside, I don't like the fact that he's attacking my b pawn 30 times, and he's going to open the a and the c files. So I close that shit down. How do I close down all the files?
Maybe.
Thanks, Jai or Jal or whatever your name
probably
is.
B3.
B3,
yeah.
as the engine says. B3. Yeah. Now when I castle queenside, I'm safe. Okay. He played rook a e1, so he's waiting for me to castle kingside. He's going to play f5 and destroy me. Okay, and now I made a move after which I can't win anymore. The engine says it's fine. Now, for reasons I don't understand, the engine likes black here. I do not. I do not like black. I'll take white here all day. Why? At some point, white can advantageously play f5. I don't know if it's now. I don't know if it's later. Or he could not play f5. Now tell me what I'm supposed to do. I'll wait. What's black's plan here? A5, A4 does nothing. C4, he plays D4. And D4, he plays C4. So I can't do anything. So the only thing I can do is H5. And it sacks a pawn, but it opens all the files on the king side. Mm-hmm. So I played H5. And I thought, takes, knight takes, long castle, rook DG8. Then I'll play D4, opening this diagonal. And I have this file open. And I have this half file open. And I don't really care about his extra H pawn. Who cares? And I thought that was bad for me from an engine point of view. But from a practical point of view, it's fine. So I was surprised he played G5. And when he played G5, I was like, I can't legally win this position. Jumeri subscribed. Welch's Grape Juice subscribed.
Yay.
Thank you. We have a train. And after the game, he thought if he took and played knight takes, I have way too much attack against his king. I said, no, it's still good for you. Then the engine said, oh, yeah, that's no good. Too much attack against his king. So he correctly played G5. Now the engine, every engine says I'm slightly better here. Okay, slightly better. Okay, at some point, he could sacrifice a pawn and win with f5. If I play gf, he plays knight takes h5, knight f6, pushes his h-pawn. If I take with the e-pawn, he plays e6. Or he could never play f5, which is what would have happened. If he never plays f5, what winning plan does black have here?
Mm-hmm. Well, Bonarici, that's true that G5 lacks ambition, but that's what Ben was saying. The lower rateds always are just wanting to draw.
So because I played b3 and because I played h5, g5, that's it. If I play c4, he plays d4. If I play d4, he plays c4. I was worried about playing h4 here, knight h1, because I thought I'd lose my h-pawn. The engine wants me to do that and says it's equal. After a while, it gets to zeros when it realizes nobody can do anything. Mm-hmm. Even if I play h4, h3. Okay, so let's play h4, h3. I thought the best scenario is I don't lose my pawn. He has bishop g4, rook f3, knight f2, queen f1. How am I not going to lose this pawn? But let's say I don't lose the pawn. Let's say he doesn't take it. What am I supposed to do here? Well, I mean, he could play queen d1, queen e2. So my thinking was, if I play h4, I'm risking losing my h-pawn, but there's no benefit. If I do nothing, he could play f5 when it's advantageous, or he could play queen d1 to e2, and the game's a draw. So I castled long, because I'm not going to let him play f5 with my king on the king side, and I offered a draw, and he thought a while, and he accepted. He said he was going to play h4, which really makes the game a draw.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, the 977.
And the engine says all zeros, and it makes just random legal moves. It says like,
yay, hang on.
All 16 pawns are on the board, and we can't break through. What would Jim Morrison say? Where's Spencer with his pawn breaks?
That's true. Hey, thank you, Born and Oz. 5 gift subs.
I saw.
Yay. Thank you so much.
This isn't a blitz game, Bonarici. This is a slow game.
Yeah, we played at that ALTO tournament this weekend. 5 rounds, G120, increment 5.
Can't play king b1 on black. I can only play king b8. So you're banned for your jokery. Mm-hmm. Right, so this position has no winning chances for either side unless white decides to play f5 at some point. Mm-hmm. Then he'll have winning chances, or I will if it's bad.
Yeah, thank you, Raz FC.
But if he doesn't play f5, we're just going to move our like a piece back and forth. Terrible. So this is funny. These moves that I thought sucked, B3, G6, H5, engine's like, great, you play great. You're the best. Because Earlier in the game, when I played this stupid way and I got this position, the engine's giving white a nice advantage, depending on which engine you have. 0.5 to 1.2. And even better in some positions, because white can get F5 in at some point. But he played very slow and pedestrian and pedantic, thanks to Bishop's Vatals for the 5 subs. He played C3, Bishop D2, Queen E2, A3. You know, he played sort of slow. He didn't play for F5 or H4, H5, or Knight H5 when it was legal. He didn't do any of that. He just slow, methodical, and because he had the advantage and he could press, hopefully overpress, he didn't press like a good player. He built. Now, there's good news. There's very little good news, but there's good news. Obviously, I'm very upset at drawing a player under 2,000 because, you know, I'm 2,900. My opponent used to be 2197, but he's lost a lot of rating points the last 5 years. And the other good news is he had a good tournament, and he was paired up in rounds 2 and 3 and 1. And in round 4, he was on board 1 against Grandmaster Mora Diabati. So, I mean, he was having a ridiculous tournament, beating an expert and a master the next 2 rounds. Terrible.
Thank you for those 5 gift subs to Bishop's Vatels.
When we left,
and hey,
when Karen and I left the tournament, he was still playing Mora Diabati, and he was having a tough game with him. He was black against Mora Diabati. I didn't know who was better. So they had it, but Mora Diabati ended up winning because I'm texting with the organizers.
Thank you, Resigned, it says Steinitz. Thank you for the prime sub.
Etc. Go Hype Train, level 4. Wow.
Yeah,
Crazy.
people giving gift subs.
So this was terrible because my opponent was low rated. If my opponent was not low rated, if they were my rating, and I looked at the game with the engine, here's what I would have thought. I would have thought, I didn't play well in the middle game. Knight F5, bad, terrible. And then I equalized. I played G6, H5, B3. Those are excellent moves. And I went from a bad position to a draw. But I'm playing a 1900, so I'm thinking, how can I make worse moves earlier in the game to keep the game alive? That's what I'm thinking after the game. Also, I thought my position was bad here and it was bad after H5, and the engine says, no, you played great. That was the worst thing about it, is the engine liked the way I played. Although not the first, like 10 moves of the game. All right, so let's do a thing. What is it, this?
A thing.
This is a thing.
Oh.
Yeah, that way they can complain they can't see the H file or the A file, whichever's funnier.
We could fix that.
Yeah, I can go here, but then they can see it. See, look, you can't, and then if I go here, okay, then they can't see it. Watch out!
Yeah, we could just make it.
Yeah, I like that. I like when they
Recess.
complain about, I can't see the A file. You can see half of it. You can see what the pieces are.
We could recess.
Yeah. Well, it's doing a game review, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. It's just temporary.
Anyway, so that was a bad start to the tournament because I'm already having bad tournaments. I'm playing bad. I'm complaining on the stream how I can't play anymore. And then I draw a 1900. The last time I drew a 1900, you guys weren't born yet. Right? It could be your parents weren't born yet. Could be. Terrible. I drew a 1900 in Virginia Beach about 30 years ago, and I remember talking to Aviv about it, like texting him.
Yeah.
If they had texting then.
Aww.
It was probably 25 years ago. Terrible.
Yeah, I lost my first 2 games, and then I won 2 games, and then I took a bye last round because we were leaving.
Yay, 15 cents. Thanks, Wes.
So, and I was in the bottom section, which I'm not going to curse about.
We're almost to level 5. That's crazy.
And I still lost half my games. So
I thought you won half your games.
I won half my
snap.
games. And I lost half my games. And nobody was, I was one of the higher rated ones in the section, and and so obviously I'm going to lose some rating points. I don't care that much about the rating points. I'm just glad I won some games.
This is the boring world of Niels Bohr over here.
Yeah.
Thanks to the anonymous cheer. Very close to level 5. All right, let's see what the thing says.
Hey, party.
It says still thinking,
Calculating,
examining. It always does that.
Mm-hmm. You went 0-3 this weekend. Hey, where did you play, C.L. Smith?
Thank those people who donated.
Did I miss one?
Wes
I
and
missed
Half Full Nelson.
Anonymous cheer, thank you for the 100. Wes for the 20, and Half Moon Nelson for the 100.
Push to pawns.
Bits, yay! Push to pawns, coming in with the 1,000 bits.
I play bridge, but it's been a while.
In Birmingham, you played. I didn't know they had a lot of tournaments over there.
Infinitive gave 100 cent to dues. Trying to learn gifted a sub.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to learn withdrew before he entered.
Darn, yeah, I was hoping to see you trying to learn.
See, I played better than him.
Yeah.
I played 95.4 and he played 95.1 and he's in the 1900s. Mm-hmm. He made 0 inaccuracy, 0 mistakes, 0 blunders, 0 missed wins. Me too.
No hamster. We were in Charlotte.
Look at this. He played 1 great move, and I played 0. He played 7 best moves. I played 6, and I still played better than him.
Yeah,
That doesn't make any
similar.
sense. Doesn't make any sense.
You know those.
It says neither one of us made an inaccuracy that game, but knight f5, knight h4 is no good. That's an inaccuracy.
Well,
boo.
I would say that it's not very accurate.
If I play 95.4 against the 1900, I want to win.
Yay,
that's all I'm saying.
Thank you for the 400 bits.
Yeah, if I draw a 1900, I want to say I played in the 70s. Then I'm like, all right, I suck.
Thank you, Zumari. Arjawa, hey, how's it going? 1-3-0'd my event like a week ago, and I'm still feeling great about it.
There are no good chess clubs in Arkansas.
1-3-0'd? Or, I 3-0'd. Hey, what was your event a week ago, Arjawa? Was that the Schmug Daddy tournament on Friday night? Tell him I said hello.
There's nothing good in Arkansas. That is correct. Ask Karen.
I've never been there.
See? If it was good, you'd been there.
Oh, yeah. I finally met Naroditsky.
Finally.
He was at the tournament.
He wasn't playing. He just showed up to say hi to Karen. I mean, hi to everybody.
Yeah, I finally met him. Very nice.
He had a tuxedo on, too. Man, he was impressive. He was like, how do I look, Karen? And she said, who are you again? I was suspicious when he said, nice to meet you, and they both laughed. I don't know. All right, I'll use a paper towel.
Yeah.
Delicious.
We didn't really socialize much because we were so tired from the chess, so we went to bed. Was Danya holding a boombox over his head? No. What does that mean?
Wes, 100 centidues. Yeah, and it was playing Won't You Take Me to Funky Town. Dun, dun, dun.
He seems just like on Twitch, he's super nice. Ben's met him many times and played him and whatever's, but yeah, very nice. Hey, Stonkfish. Oh, it's a movie reference.
Yeah. Push to pawns, some unusual amount of bits. 560?
Was I blushing? No. I mean, I'm not even sure if he's aware of the running joke over here.
It's more of a sitting joke.
But yeah, I would have liked to have actually talked to him and Dominique and Peter more, but we were so tired. Everybody was playing Blitz in the bar, and we drank our drink and then went up to our room, like the old people we are, and laid down.
Yeah, we didn't say anything. We see good movies. Sorry.
Oh, I mean, I've seen plenty of bad ones, but I don't ever remember any.
That's all the centidues you had left. That's a good reason, push to pawns.
Yay, thank you.
We almost made it to level 6, 87%. That's pretty good.
Yeah, you can get the bits in packs. So yeah. Sometimes you just run out.
I walked by Danya with my McDonald's, ate, and immediately fell asleep. Very good.
Did you sleep out on that bench where you were sitting? Or no, you
slept
went up,
like a grandmaster?
or you went up to the room. I guess that makes more sense.
He found a field of grass. Half Nelson, 200 centidues. Wes, 100 centidues.
Sometimes I like to take a little outside.
Look at that
movie.
hype.
Say anything is a bad movie. What?
I assume. Yay, the Chess Nerd Live is rating with
Yay,
56.
Chess
Somebody give
Nerd
him a shout out.
Live.
Thanks, Wes, 100%.
Thank you, Wes, and thank you, Chess Nerd Live.
Somebody give him a shout out. Do I have any mods here?
Hey, let's keep going with the game. We got all sidetracked with chat.
No, we have to take long breaks because it's a 4-hour stream.
Okay.
So I won 116.67 plus the 200 old man bonus.
Yeah. Well,
So
good.
Karen at ATL Chess Club.
Yeah, that's good. It's an 80s classic. 2-2.
I tied for third. Let me look at the thing and see if the results are up. You know, the thing.
Hey, you got a first time chatter here, and it's hard
Is
to
he
read
banned?
it. Inertial brick. Hey, Ben, I started playing chess a year ago, but I don't play it too much. I probably like 90 games, and I'm rated on the app. Man, this is a long message. With 1050 rating, I know I should play more to improve. Can you recommend some book or anything educational to speed up the process of me understanding the game? Whew. Ben, first of all, Ben, he's not a huge chess book nerd, so he doesn't usually know the current ones. But Peter gave me a book recommendation. That's a guy that's on top of books. Let me say, I'm going to type it in the chat because I'm going to get this one based solely on Peter. And they might have it on Chessable, or I'm not sure if it's a book or what it is, but anyway, I'm going to type it out for you guys because Peter knows some books. And you and I sound similar rated. Okay, Mastering Chess Strategy. I think that's right.
What book are you telling him?
This Peter recommended this to me while we were at the tournament. We were
Oh,
talking
Peter
about
wrote a book.
That's
Get that
true.
book.
These guys, no, this is
Thanks
the
to
one he
Real
recommended
Greg.
to me. So there it is. Peter, yeah, Peter Janatis. We were at the ALTO tournament, Jelly, in Charlotte this past weekend, and Ben's going over his games right
I
now.
have a question. Do you use Jelly?
Not my system.
No, she doesn't use Jelly, Karen. What does she use?
Magazines.
That's another one.
Oh, hang on. It is on Chessable, C.L. Smith. Okay, yeah, I think he said, for me, I'm not much of just a reader, so I would rather do it on Chessable. It's not that I can't read, but chess books are hard.
Very good. They got the insert.
And
Vaseline.
Arjawa likes it.
No, not jam. She don't use jam.
Puzzles.
She
and
uses
chess.
Vaseline.
60 knot memory. Really.
You got to have Vaseline because I'm going to ask you next time.
Hmm?
Vaseline. Magazine says when he blows his nose. Now, the woman that reminds him of Cher, what does she put in her hair to make it orange?
Tangerines.
There you go.
I know some of the lyrics.
That's all the lyrics.
It's a good song.
That's it.
I just don't know. No, illogical chess. Okay,
Let's
it
see what
sounds
Peter
like
said.
you're getting a lot of good book recommendations. How does Guess the ELO work, Wes? And then maybe that's something we could do sometime. That seems to be a popular game.
So Magesh beat
different
Benjamin
streams.
Snodgrass.
Yeah.
And Tianki and Elshan drew. So it was a tie for first, Magesh and Elshan. And I tied for third with Tianki and some other people. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure who. Hooray for me.
Okay, so you like that one, Arjal. Okay, yeah, Peter
So you
said it
should
was
check
good.
tomorrow your PayPal. Make sure we get
Yeah,
that money.
I check it every day. Just you'll have to ask me to remind me if
I'm reminding you.
to it's just I may forget that I didn't tell you whether it's in there or not.
Yeah.
So you can certainly mention it.
All right, let's kill another 15 minutes for the next game. All right, next. Okay, here I'm playing Bobby Fischer, the Ghost. So this is funny. I played Robert Fischer in 1986.
But I didn't mean to interrupt. But so with the other game, that was a point where you guys agreed to a draw. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did miss that somehow.
Okay, so this is Robert Fischer. He's 2050 now. I played him in 1986 at the Masters tournament in Chicago, and I won Best Endgame prize. When I walked up to the board, he was sitting there at this tournament, and I said, "We meet again." He said, "Yeah, we played in Chicago. You won Best Endgame prize." And I said, remember what year it was?" He's like, "No." I said, 86.
That's funny.
I've shown that game on stream, not the whole game, just the end game, because the rest of the game sucks. Thanks, Wes. This is the same Robert Fischer. How many Robert Fischers are there?
Yeah, this is the not famous Robert Fischer.
He's the only famous one now. Oh, snap. Okay, so finally I got white. Because 36 years ago I had black. Finally, I get, winning with black was hard. Okay, if you thought that was difficult. Okay, so this is one of the most amazing end games you've ever seen, and the rest of the game sucks and blows at the same time. Basically, I was outplayed the whole game and was losing, and then he made a one-move blunder where I was drawing, and then in a drawn end game, I got lucky. I old manned him, and he's older than me. But I'm more like an old man than he is. So, Vaseline. Also, the guy sneezed at the board. You know what he used?
No.
Magazines.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
My only question about that song is, how does a woman remind him of Cher if she has orange hair? Talk about not reminding me of Cher. I mean, it rhymes, but it's nonsensical. Okay, ready? Yeah, if Gotham does it, that means we don't do it.
No, it doesn't mean that. He
Yeah,
can
well,
have a good idea and we can steal it. Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
Never. This is the only idea we have. Yay, and then you make different colors. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's like the don't walk sign. Okay, so it was a Queen's Gambit declined. Now, if you watch my stream religiously and you remember my games from Foxwoods, neither one of those are true, but it could be true for somebody. There's 500 people watching. There could be 2 people that watch my streams and remember some of my Foxwoods games. Okay, this followed one of my Foxwoods games, my game from round 8, which was game 7, against James Risitano, who was also older than me. Amazing. So we played a QGD. Oh, I didn't tell you. Oops. I didn't tell you this.
Yeah.
I was streaming and you weren't sitting here like 4 or 5 days ago. And I ended an explanation with QED like I always do. And I said QGD.
Oh, that's funny.
I immediately realized what I said. I said QGD. I mean QED. Terrible. Okay. Okay, so this is my game with Risitano. And in this position, for the last 30 years, I've been playing Queen D2. Occasionally, I play Rook C1, because Rook C1 is probably a better move. I'm going to go back to Queen D2. I'm not having luck with Rook C1. Or maybe I'll find a third move. So Rook C1. Now, I usually face C6, Knight D7, which I had another game in Foxwoods like that. But Risitano played DC, right? And when he did that, it was a marvel.
A Marvel?
No.
All right.
Like DC.
Oh, DC Comics.
Yeah. Okay. Bishop takes, Knight D7. Now, he wants to play C5, and you can't play Knight D7 immediately to play C5 because you lose your pawn. The pawn's defended twice, so if you play Knight D7, it's not defended twice. So you take on C4 first, play Knight D7, play C5, Papa John's. In the Queen's Gambit declined, Black is looking for playing C5 or E5. Risitano played C5, as did this guy. My other game in this variation in Foxwoods, the guy played C6, Knight D7, DC, and E5. The other way of playing. Okay. Now, when I played Risitano, we got this position, and I was already out of anything that I knew, because I don't really play Rook C1 that often. And I played Bishop B3, and then I analyzed the game later, and nobody plays Bishop B3. Frankly, terrible. Everybody plays Queen E2. And here, I think people take on D4, but I'm not sure. But I think so. And he played A6, and I was thinking, A6, I don't think that's the book move. I should refute that. So that was my first mistake. So I should just play like a normal human being and play Rook FD1, the point of Queen E2. Then all my pieces are on the correct squares. And the engine says I'm tiny little better. Or maybe that was, what's the Israeli GM's name? St. Louis commentary.
Israeli GM.
He says tiny little better.
St. Louis. Oh.
I forgot his name.
Oh.
Hopefully he's not watching the stream. Man, what a terrible spelling of Boris Gelfand.
You've told me. I can't remember.
Yeah, what is his name?
Hey, Taffa64. And hey, Major High.
Misspelling every word and not Israeli.
In Savannah, yay.
Terrible.
Another Georgian.
You guys are all banned for your spelling of Gelfand and Sarawak.
Hey, Dunkel. Hey, anybody I forgot? I forgot who it is.
Yeah, Yasser Syrian. Terrible.
Tiny
You're
little-
banned.
Is it Boros? I don't know
No.
where he's from.
No, he's not in St. Louis anymore.
Oh.
He did commentary there. He never lived there.
Oh, I see.
I did commentary with him all the time. Can't remember his name. If they say his name, I'll remember.
Yeah.
Still spelled Sarawak wrong. You made 2 spelling mistakes in Sarawak. No, Maxime's incorrect. Everything you guys say is wrong. About everything. Not just chess. Ugh. Ugh. Terrible. Akobian. What? I said Israeli. Aviv's is funny, but I wouldn't forget Aviv's name. I already said it on the stream. He's a grandmaster, too. All right, you're all banned.
Ban is cute.
Plus ban space asterisk. See if that works. Ban everybody.
Oh.
Yeah. If everything I say is wrong, then what I said is right. No, it's a logical paradox.
I think his name... Well, no, that guy's not from Israel.
How you overcome the fear of flying? You see a therapist, and she'll explain to you that even though your dad was a flight attendant, it's okay. He was a pioneer. That's how you get over your fear of flying.
Gershon?
Which cartoon was that? No.
I don't know.
Simpsons. What if he was a steward or steward? That's right. A male flight attendant or stewards.
Does the Israeli...
C.L. Smith knows what's up.
Jim also do some educational videos for chess.com?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, everything you got, you're all banned.
Oh, I know who it is.
I lost to the guy in 19... Harzvi,
Rob-
thank you.
oh, yeah.
Ronan Harzvi.
Yeah, you're Ronan.
Yeah, Ronan Harzvi was called tiny little better.
I know about him. He used to work for this gifted organization that Holden was a member of. I forgot about him. I had the name too, right?
Ronan Harzvi.
I was about to say Robert.
Man, I haven't seen him in forever. If Ronan was here watching the stream, he'd be really mad I forgot his name. Because he beat me in 1991 or something. He tricked me into King's Indian. Okay, so I played D5 question mark. Now, if you remember the last game that I was doing with you guys, I said I do this a lot. Here's the first time I did it this game. I'm going to do it later too. I play a move. I look at the forcing variations, of which there are aplenty. There's B5, ED5, bishop takes C3, knight B6, and I calculate them, and I'm like, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, and then I play D5. And then he plays one of the variations I analyzed. We get to it, and I'm like, that's terrible. Okay, this is what we call a weak player. So I would say the first 2 rounds of this tournament, I played like 2,000 strength. So I guess I'm 12 years old again. D5 is the kind of move I made when I was 12. It's terrible. It trades and forces stuff, and it makes my position worse. There's no benefit. When obviously and frankly, I can just play rook FD1 like a normal person. What's my rook doing on F1? Nothing, that's what. But on D1, now D5 or DC would be a marvel, right?
Yeah.
D5 would be a marvel and DC would not be a marvel. Oh, I'd like to take a time out. On Wednesday, I'm going to Michigan. I will not be streaming Wednesday or Thursday. However, I am streaming Friday because I'm coming back Friday morning and I stream at night. On Thursday, we're seeing the opening of the new movie. What new movie? I don't know. I guess Doctor Strange. And then after Doctor Strange, there's a lot of other words. So my brother already got tickets for me, my daughter, and my brother. So we're seeing it Thursday on the pre-opening. That's right. Sunday, Monday, happy days. A4 isn't bad. I could have played A4. Any move that's not the move I played is bad. I didn't even look at A4. I looked at like DC and D5, and I was like, D5, that'll refute A6. Now here's the difference. From my point of view, I was thinking, if I play D5 now, which I know isn't the move, I know this position. I know Queen E2 is what the good players play. That black can play Knight B6, and my bishop's not defended. However, if my queen was on E2, which it is in the position I'm talking about, then I can play DE, and if he plays Knight C4, I play the Zwischenzug, E takes F7 check, and then play Queen takes.
Right, yeah.
So I thought with the insertion, that's what she said, of Queen E2, A6, that I could get away with D5. That Knight B6 is no longer what I'm worried about. Not worried about B5, DE, and looking good for me, because after takes, I take this, and his pawn structure shallow and pedantic. Do you agree? Mm-hmm. Shallow and pedantic.
So, oh yeah, okay, never mind.
Okay, so he played bishop takes C3, which is fine. He doesn't have to. E takes D is also good for black. I'm the worst player ever. Okay, I took back, because that's what you do. Now, if I don't want to be worse, I can actually try to equalize with this. Bishop back, takes. Now, I thought I was worse here. The engine says all zeros. So this would have been better than what I did. But I thought he has the two bishops, and he has the what else. But I can sneak in E4, E5 maybe. I can sneak it in, maybe. Sneak that in. Okay, so I played rook takes, and when he took, I took. He played knight F6. And when I analyzed this, here's what I thought. I thought, if he plays B6 to defend his C-pawn, his rook is hanging. So he can't do that. And after here, in my mind, he still couldn't play B6 because his rook would be hanging. But it doesn't matter. He just played Queen E7. Because he doesn't want to play B6, he wants to play B5 and then C4. And he's crushing my bishop. He's gaining space. My rook on C3 is ridiculous. All brown 87, thanks. So when I get to this position, or well, even in this position, I'm thinking, this is no good. Why did I play D5? I saw it, and I thought this is good for white. And somehow I hallucinated this pawn could never move because my bishop is always threatening his rook.
That's what happened with me when I lost the pawn today, because I still had the old position in my head.
So here black is just better. He's got E4 covered. B5, C4, bishop E7, bishop G4. My rook is stupid. I'm going to get it attacked, and I'll have to go back to C1, etc.
Thank you,
Xenoid. Now, these are small imperfections that don't matter to players like yourself. Players like yourself are like, I played here hanging my knight, and then I played here hanging my rook, but he didn't see it. And then I didn't see his queen was hanging, so I took a free pawn because I forgot about this. Then I skewered his queen and rook. And then he didn't see his queen was attacked. And then I took his queen. Then he attacked my queen. And I thought I was pinning his pawn. But he took that. And then I took back thinking I was winning. And he underpromoted and mated me. I couldn't believe it. That's the way you guys analyze. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about blundering pieces and being silly. Okay, I'm talking about I get to this position in my head like 5 moves ago. And I'm like, yeah, this is good for white. Then when it happens, I'm like, nobody would think this is good for white. Why did I think that? Like, what's wrong with me? So the engine says black's like half a pawn up. Now, obviously, this position where I'm 1 move out of my preparation, I don't want to play D5 and give black the advantage. That wasn't my plan. D5 is a very forcing move that changes the nature of the game, and it's bad. So, like, if somebody was good, like Carlson or Ding or Fabi, okay, they would just like say, who taught you how to play chess? Okay, now who taught you guys how to play chess with that other stuff? I got nothing to do with that. Okay, you guys hang a piece every move and I take them. So when I'm playing a blitz game against the gawking rabble, or even somebody in my own rating, if I play D5 and I go from slightly better to obviously worse, it doesn't matter because you guys will just do what I say. You'll hang all your pieces every move. But this is a slow game. He's not going to hang a piece every move, maybe another move, but not in every move. Ding would never say that. Yeah.
Yay, thank you for the centuries, Wes.
Yeah, 100 centidues. Yeah. So when I see a forcing variation in my head, and it's 3, 4, 5 moves in advance, and I'm like, that's a good position for me. Then as we're going into it, I'm like, what was I thinking? Well, why nobody would think that's a good position? Like, what's wrong with me? And here's the worst part: is e takes d5 is probably even better. This also is no good. Why did I think this is good for white? b5, c4, bishop e7, Papa John's. This is probably better than what he did. This also sucks for me. This is the engine analysis. Well, who wants to have white here? Black's got everything. I mean, he's got the best bishop ever. His pawn majority is actually useful. My rook is blocked. I mean, why would I do that? Why did I play d5? Ridiculous. So, like, everything I analyzed was wrong. Everything I ever did in my life was wrong. Okay. So d5 is a really stupid strategical move. Now, obviously, I'm bad at tactics because I'm old. However, I've accumulated the knowledge over centuries, okay, and millennia, right, of strong positional understanding who's better, and then I don't. I mean, if I can't calculate and I can't understand, I'm not going to do well. Okay, and that's why I'm not doing well. Okay, so this is what happened. Okay, now I went into panic mode, and I played a move the engine will not like. And I haven't looked at any of these games with engines, but I guarantee I won't like it. I panicked here, and I sacrificed a pawn because that's what you would do. Okay, so I played e4 because I thought if I didn't play e4, black is just better, and I'm right. Okay, and amazingly, he didn't take the pawn, and not taking the pawn is correct. I mean, I didn't even look at him not taking the pawn because I want to play e5. Okay, now we're talking. Now he doesn't have the e4 square, my pawn majority, his knight, etc. And I thought if he can't take with the knight, because okay, that's the point is, you know, now
Right,
I got bishop c2, I got knight d2, I got rook e1. You're gonna lose that. So I thought he would take with the queen, and then I play rook e3. My rook goes to the 7th rank, and I thought I had good compensation. The engine says equal, because I have rook e7, knight e5. And all of the sudden, you know, my pieces are good. The engine says that's excellent for white. White has 1 pawn of compensation. I thought it's probably better for black, but it's better than just losing like a potser. But he played not taking my pawn. He played b5. This is the best move. And the problem with e5, which I'm sort of forced to play now, is I'm not threatening his knight. It's a pin.
Right, yeah.
Right?
I see that.
So he played bishop b7, and I'm sitting here going, now what do I do? Because his knight's going to e4, his pawn's going to c4, etc. So even here the engine says he's much better. Like here, also much better. Okay, so you see the engine move is queen e3. I don't know what the engine moves are. This is the first time I'm looking at the game. I didn't bring my computer with me. Before the stream started, I put my games in the computer, right? Back me up. Mm-hmm. So then now I'm going to see like how I played because I don't know. Okay, I played queen e3, which is the engine move. This was probably my longest think of the game. I was thinking about rook e1. And here's the line I was looking at the most. Okay, now you're going to find out who sees more, me or you. Guess what the answer is? Not them.
Right.
Okay, you're watching this line?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're also asking if rook e3 works.
Rook e3, knight g4. Terrible.
Okay.
Okay. Now, also, yeah. Okay, now, I analyzed knight h4 with 2 ideas. Okay? I want to play knight g6. See how it's pinned? Okay, and I want to play knight f5. And I have the third idea. I want to play f4. Oh my God, if I could play f4. Oh, now rook g3, knight f5 resigns, knight g6. Okay, my position looks normal. So here's what I analyzed. Okay, I said knight h. I analyzed this for a long time because I wanted it to work, and it wasn't working. Knight e4. Notice how he threatens my rook and my knight. You see that? So rook h3. Okay, now Finally, I'm threatening knight g6 and f4.
Right.
So queen takes e5, free pawn. I can't attack his pin knight. For what reason? No.
What?
Never play f3. Oh, snap.
Oh, yeah, and there's no check on knight g3.
Yeah, but just here.
Yeah.
Check, and then his knight moves away. Okay, so here's what I analyzed.
I played f3 my last
Knight
game.
g6.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Queen g5. Notice he's threatening my knight. Also notice he's a pawn up. Okay, so I have to play knight takes rook because that's why I played knight g6. And now black to play and win. And this is what I was analyzing, and I didn't play knight h4 because of this. Also, I didn't know if I was right until I see the engine right now because I didn't look at the game with an engine. But I knew I was right because, still a grandmaster.
Knight c3.
Correct. You see
Knight
the queen and
c3.
bishop battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, knight
I did.
c3.
And the queen
So,
can't get on that diagonal.
I showed him this after the game, and he went do 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 do. Okay, and then the engine says he's +8. Okay, he's threatening queen takes g2 mate, and knight takes queen check. So I tried to make this variation work because I really wanted to play knight h4 threatening here and f4. As soon as I play f4, I'm going to win the game. Then my pawns are rolling. My bishop is good on c2 or b3. I don't care about his queenside advance, etc. I couldn't make knight h4 work. So I thought here 10, 15 minutes, and I play queen e3, which is the engine move. Okay, notice my queen is defended now, twice. In this position, it wasn't defended, so I couldn't take his knight.
Right.
Now, if they were playing, it would go pawn takes knight, queen e3, mouse slip. Okay. Okay, so I play queen e3. And he played the only move that makes any sense, knight e4, defending his pawn, saving his knight, and attacking my rook.
Nice.
Okay, so I play rook c1. He plays c4. I play bishop c2, and he made the best move. I hate when they make the best move. Knight c5, which I underestimated. Okay, now I went into panic mode because I didn't want to go into an ending where I can't win, sort of like in my first round where I can't win. The most obvious move, which I didn't want to play, so I played a really terrible move. I was like, I don't like this line. Let's find a much worse move. Okay, and I did easily. See, I'm a grandmaster. I can find the worst moves you want. The obvious move is knight d4, because I told you I want to play knight f5, and I also told you I want to play f4. Oh boy, if I play f4, man, I'm going to be so happy.
Yeah.
Okay, now he plays the obvious move, queen g5, threatening to trade queens and to checkmate me. So I can't play f4 because he checkmates me.
All right.
Okay, so if I take and he takes, I'm looking at this ending, and I'm like, this ending sucks. Like, this is just good for black. Okay, the engine says black is slightly better, and if two engines were playing, it would be a draw. Well, I can't draw this guy after drawing McCartney. Okay, I can't go into a worse ending. So I'm like, this pawn's actually good on g5. I can't get my majority going. Terrible. Yeah, actually, the more the engine looks at it, the higher advantage it's giving black.
And now you can't go f4.
Can't go f4, and he plays rook d8, and
he's
his queenside majority is much better than my majority. Okay, so knight d4 is the move I want to play, but I can't figure out what to do against queen g5. So I decide not to play knight d4. Now, in the previous game with McCartney, I played the engine moves that led to an equal position from a slightly worse position, and I drew the game, which against somebody in my own rating is fine. So if I'm playing a grandmaster here, I'll probably play knight d4, trade queens, and try to draw the endgame. Okay, but I already did that. I already played the best moves and drew the last game. So now I got to do something where it's not going to be a draw, which means I lose. So I played a really awful move here. Now you notice this is pretty good. Okay, so I want to break that up. So I played b3, which just hangs a pawn. Right? And I knew it was bad because I thought Ginger GM would suggest it. You got to be free, right? Exactly. At least 21 is correct.
Wait, how does it hang the pawn?
Okay, so he took my knight.
Well, there I see that hangs the
Right.
A pawn.
Now-
I thought you were talking about B3 was...
Right, well, I'm going to lose this now.
Oh, because of the other
Now, in
pawn.
this position, there's two ways I can play. I can take with the queen and lose a pawn, which is idiotic. That's what I did. Or I can play GF, and I was thinking, GF, this is horrible for white. He's got knight e6 and queen g5 and knight f4. So I'm not losing a pawn, but this is terrible. And the engine says, this is terrible. It says 0.5, 0.6 for black. Again, no winning chances for white. Just a terrible pawn structure. It wants him to take, play queen here, check, knight here, and he has a 2-to-1 majority on the queen side, and my king side majority is like a minority. Again, if I'm playing for a draw, I have to play GF and go into this bad endgame and try to draw it. But I'm playing a guy 450 points lower rated. I already drew a guy 500 points lower rated. I have to win. So I play queen takes f3. Okay, now I'm just down a pawn. He takes on b3 and takes on e5, and he's just a pawn up. It's just for nothing. I got nothing. He's just up a pawn. So the engine says he's up a pawn. Okay, now, again, this guy's not Bobby Fischer. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, this guy, he's not a grandmaster. That was a good subtle way I did the, okay. Okay, he's going to make a mistake, hopefully, that'll be like a big mistake. And he made a relatively big mistake where he wasn't better anymore very shortly. I played rook e1, and he played queen f6. Again, if I go into this ending, I'm just trying to draw. The engine goes into the endgame because it's a better chance to draw than if I don't go into the ending. The engine's trying to draw and minimize black's advantage. Okay, but I'm not trying to draw. So I played queen e3. And for the first time in the game, he surprised me. I thought he'd play knight e6 and reconnoiter his knight to d4. Also, the second move I thought was rook c8, defending his knight. Then this rook has a couple of options later. But he played rook fc8, which surprised me. I guess he wanted his rook behind his passed a pawn, his potential passed a pawn. Okay, now I didn't see anything to do. I didn't want to play b4 and force his knight to the d4 square. I was like, man, the knight on d4 is pretty good. Even f4 might be good. So I decided to get luffed, and I couldn't decide between g3 and h3. And the engine actually plays g3. So I played h3. And in this position, was it this position? h3. Yeah, he blundered here. After he blundered, he can't win anymore. Also, I can't win. Now, I could spend hours talking about this position because it's a 4-hour stream. This is the most important position in the history of chess. I don't mean for me, I mean for you. No, it didn't freeze. I just pointed my finger for a long time. Okay, now you pay attention to this. This is good chess education for you.
Yeah, I'm paying attention.
Okay, black is up a pawn. Okay, my opponent, here's what he was thinking. Thanks, Chess Brainiac, for the raid with 177.
Yay, big raid.
Give him 2 shouts out.
Thank you, Chess
Thanks,
Brainiac.
Enzian Hero,
Also,
for the sub.
Yeah, Enzian Hero and anybody else we met.
Thanks, Chess Brainiac. Okay, give him a lot of shout outs. Okay, now pay attention. Okay, in this position, black is up a pawn. What black needs to do is put his pieces on good squares. Okay, so the engine move is the most obvious one. There's one piece he has that is slightly misplaced, very slightly. It's his knight, because my rook is here, my queen is here, b4 could happen. So he should play knight e6. Okay, then he opens up the file for his rook. He could play knight d4, which is very annoying. Or he could play knight f4 if that's better in certain positions. And his knight on e6 is defended twice. Perfect move. And he's up 1 point, whatever, he's winning. Okay, it's pawn up, and I have no compensation for a pawn. Okay, now he thought like you guys at home think. And you know why? Because thinking is not their strong suit. And I've said this on every stream. I keep saying it. But you guys have it ingrained in your head to incorrectly trade. You guys love trading. Even when you were kids, you traded Pokemon cards. And you got tricked. Admit it. You got a trade in there and you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Okay? You don't think about trading here. You think about improving. Knight e6 improves the knight. The knight has access to every good square now. And it improves the rook on c8. So it's a no-brainer move, knight e6. He played double question mark, losing material. Man, if you lose material here with black, that's hard to do. It is. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to lose?
Right.
Show me what you're losing.
Everything's protected and neat, except for the knight.
You know what he lost? I'm going to tell you what he lost, and you're all going to go and quit chess forever. You ready? Mm-hmm. He lost this. Impossible, right? Impossible.
Yeah.
But he did it. Okay. Now, no, queen b2 is good. You didn't do that. Now, first of all, the reason his move is a blunder isn't because it loses a pawn. The reason his move is a blunder is because of the way he was thinking. He was thinking, I want to trade queens because I'm up a pawn. That's not how good players play chess. That's how your teacher, who's no good, taught you. You have a chess coach. Your chess coach told you to trade when you're ahead. That's why your chess coach is a coach and doesn't play at the top level, because he doesn't know how to play chess. So he teaches you wrong stuff. I tell you not to do it. You sit there confused. You just do what your coach says, and your rating never changes. True story. Mm-hmm. Okay. So queen g5, double question mark, losing material and doubling his pawns. Now, I don't want to take the queen because I know it's a draw and ending, but I know I'm slightly better. I know if I don't take the queen, I'm lost. Mm-hmm. So slightly better is better than lost. Okay, so I trade queens, and now I play the move that he missed, obviously. I'll let you think about it.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that won't work. That doesn't work at all.
What doesn't work?
I don't know. No.
What doesn't work?
I'm not saying until I've.
But what if it works?
Well, I need to look for a moment because.
Yeah. Take your time. I got some water over here. I mean, the condensation here is crazy. Look at this. I just have my glass on the table, and it's like destroying the table. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Good thing this isn't real wood. Or is it? Nah. Good thing Eddie Murphy's not here telling me about coasters.
Let's see.
Yay! Thanks, that Chi-Town dude. Fog on the window. That's also condensation. Sation. Thanks, life in a northern town. 100 centidues. I like the way C.L. Smith gets all the Family Guy and Simpsons references. That's the one good thing about you. Someday you'll move out of Alabama. Someday. You think he will? I hope so. You have to live somewhere else in your life. Seriously. He likes Alabama, though.
So I'm not sure. You could maybe. Oh wait, but there's. You can maybe go bishop f5.
Right. Huh.
Oh, and then get the rook on.
What does he do after bishop
e5
f5?
too.
No, but what does he do after bishop f5? What move does he make?
Well.
No, bishop f5.
So I was right.
Yeah, bishop f5. What does he do? I'm attacking his rook.
Yeah.
And as you noticed, I'm attacking his knight. If he plays rook c6, for example, I play b4 and his knight's pinned. Mm-hmm. If he plays rook c7, I also play b4. And he has to play knight e6 there, which is what he did now.
Right.
Okay, so he goes here. I take, he takes, I take. And now he made a mistake here, in my opinion. The engine agrees with me. He should play rook e8. Okay, then I have to take this. And this is a better version of what he did.
Right.
It's still a draw. What he did is a draw, but he's not worse here. Mm-hmm. Like, if I was playing somebody lower rated than me, which I am, I think I would take black here. because I think I could try to get a passed pawn on the queen side more easily than he could on the king side.
That's
Okay,
what I was thinking.
it's a draw, but I'd rather have black if I had to pick one. The way he played, it's obvious to have white. Okay, he just took my bishop. Okay. Now what's going to happen is when he gets a passed pawn on the queen side, my rook is really active. And in the other position, it wouldn't have been so active. And he doesn't want to get a passed pawn now. What he wants to do, if he had played the other way, was walk his king up the board and try to get at my b pawn. Because me walking my king up the board is slow. Even if I take this pawn, I don't have any passed pawns. Imagine I walk my king up the board and take this, and he walks his king up the board and takes this, even illegally, 2 connected passed pawns. And then I have no passed pawns if I take this. Okay, but here, we're just going to trade pawns. He'll never have 2 connected passed pawns, and he has doubled isolated pawns. Now, I want to point out, this is a draw. It's a draw with correct play, but, and here's something that's hard to understand, and I don't blame you for not understanding it. If you don't understand it, you're in good stead. Most people on this stream won't. This position where we're trading pawns, okay, this position, every grandmaster in the world wants white here. Only white can win. Black cannot win. And you're like, ooh, Mr. Kater, you have a passed B pawn. White has no passed pawns. What are you talking about? I don't care about your passed B pawn because your rook is in front of it. My rook's going to be behind it. So that your B pawn is nothing to me. What matters is your 2 pawns on the king side are ready to be captured. So black has to defend accurately to not lose this. Now, if Magnus was here, he'd be on the floor laughing at the word accurately. He would just say, like, that's ridiculous. Because Magnus doesn't understand who I'm talking to. Okay? And also, Magnus didn't see this game. Now, if you know the game Ponomarev Magnus Carlsen, the rook and 4 versus rook and 4, if you know that game, Magnus is slightly better, but it's a dead draw. But it's better to have Magnus's position, and he won that. It was 4 against 4 on the same side, no doubled pawns. Nobody was winning material. But he was very slightly better, like 0.08. And he ended up winning in like 90 moves. Now, it was a rapid game, but still, I'm sure you all know that game, except for one thing.
Hey, when Archer comes home, by the way, I have to go upstairs for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since I haven't seen him in a few days. My son's coming home soon.
If you're less than half an hour, I can just take a break and do other stuff and then look at the games when you come back. Do you know how long you're going to be?
Probably not. It won't be that long once he starts ignoring me.
So like 1 minute? All right. Yeah, don't get in the way of his computer room. Push you out of the way. Okay.
He loves me, but, he likes video games.
Okay, so let's continue. King G3.
Yeah, so I'll come back after I visit with Archer.
Okay. Now, I can critique some of his moves, but there's no reason to. Basically, I'm going to say every move draws. Okay? And the game was drawn until the very end. So he played random legal move, then he played random legal move again. That's fine. Okay. Then he played random legal move. Now, this move I don't like. And I told him after the game, he said, oh, should I have played rook here? And I said, no. I said, the easiest way to draw if you're looking for a draw. Now, he is looking for a draw because this is a sudden death that's game in 2 hours with 5-second increment. He had 5 minutes or less here, and I had 15. So he's trying to draw because he can't be thinking 10 seconds a move. He'll lose on time in like 30 moves. So he's got to, he's trying to draw. He's lower rated. He's worse. He's worse practically, not technically. And he has very little time on his clock. So what he should do is nothing. Problem is, if you move your king, I'll play rook g6 and take your pawn. Okay, so you want to keep your rook on this pawn, and you want to keep your rook from my king moving up. And that's the only square you can do it from. So I told him he should play g6 and then move his king back and forth. g6, king g7, king f7, king g7, king f7. And then I got nothing. I got nothing for you, man. And he was like, oh yeah, that's good. King g7, king f7. The engine says like rook here, rook here, rook here. Okay, draw. Because the engine's like, this is a dead draw. What are you guys doing? Okay, He played rook b3 check, which also draws. I'm not saying it doesn't draw, and it easily draws. Or so you thought. King g4, and then rook f2. So obviously, I can't play f3 because never play f3, and then my pawn's hanging. I can't take his pawn. If I go back with my king, he checks me again. So I just went up. So I take his pawn. He takes my pawn, and I play g4. Now, a big mistake for him, and by a big mistake, I'm not saying it's losing, but it might be. Maybe. The engine will tell me. I haven't looked with the engine yet. A big mistake would be a move here that half of you would make. And by half of you, you know what I mean? I mean more than half of them.
Probably the move I was about to ask
You're
about.
definitely going to play it.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Talking about from this position?
Yeah,
or
what
back
should
a
black
couple-
play? Black.
Oh, from here, that was talking
Black.
about. Back a couple positions. I was wondering king g3, but I guess, and then get the f, then f3.
I'll play king here?
Yeah, but you're not really moving up then.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't work.
Can't do Vishwa nothing.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. All right.
Okay, now in this position, what move would you play with black? If you say the wrong move, that'll make him feel better.
What would I play as black? Probably not gonna know.
Hey, we're on Chess TV. Hi, Chess TV. We've been on for 25 minutes, but I forgot about Chess TV. I was too busy ranting and raving. For those of you who showed up an hour after the stream started, which is most of you, Karen and I played in a tournament this weekend in Charlotte, North Carolina, for adults only, 21 plus. They had over 100 players in 3 sections. Karen got 2 out of 4. I got 3 out of 4. And this is my second game against Bobby Fischer. That wasn't even a joke. True story. Not as strong as he once was. I played this guy 36 years ago in Chicago, and I won Best Endgame prize. But this ending's better. You're getting time trouble. Remember the guy had 5 minutes on his clock.
I don't know. I don't have any idea. Rook f6.
No, that's the best move.
Oh, that is the best move?
Yeah.
Oh.
The bad move would be to defend your pawn.
Yeah.
Because your rook is totally misplaced. Wow,
Yeah.
that loses immediately.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that number.
Because can't you get, if he takes the pawn after that, you can't just get.
Yeah. So I
part.
check,
Okay.
and then if you move back, I go up.
No, I mean in the other.
No, I'm saying if he plays rook b2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, king here, and I'm winning. I'm surprised I'm winning because this pawn is so weak. Rook h. Oh, let me see why I'm winning. Oh, I'm winning because of this ending is winning. Check here. Rook takes b5. Rook takes h3. King takes g7. Yeah, this is winning. I'll play g5. Actually got a similar ending. Okay. So rook b2 loses. It's +5 for white. And any move that's not rook b2 is fine. He played rook f6, which somebody in the chat said was good. Some of you said rook b2 must be wrong. It is wrong. Okay, and this 2 against 1 is a dead draw, or so you'd think. Yeah, and basically there's just no way you can win. So here we agreed to a draw. Except for one thing. Okay, now this is what's funny. Even though I'm a pawn up for nothing, and the engine can't see to the end, all zeros, white's not even better. That's how much disdain it shows for 2 against 1. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
H4.
good with rook and pawn in games.
Also, this is table based
agree.
because 7 pieces, so you can actually table base this.
I agree. Pancake gremlin.
Okay, king g6. So we'll get to the point where he blunders. Do nothing. Do nothing. Rook f1's good. All right. Yeah, I can't do anything. Now, 2 against 1's bad, but 2 against, bad for trying to win. 2 against 1 on the side is worse. I can't hide my king in 2 different places because I'm on the side. If I was in the middle, I'd have more winning chances. Still no winning chances, but more. Thanks, Debugger 2B.
Yay.
Remember, this guy's over 2,000. This is a slow game, but at this point, he has about 2 minutes left. Okay, I played rook e6 because when he checks me from the side, I want to block with my rook and hope that some of the king and pawn endings are winning. But before I block with my rook, I'm going to double check. Okay, so here I double checked. If I play rook e5, okay, he takes, I take, and he plays g6, and I ain't winning this.
Yeah.
My winning chances are over. So I can't do that. Now, one of the reasons it doesn't win, just so you guys understand, after here, g5 draws. But after this, he has to play g5. King h7 actually loses to g5. But g5 draws. This is a drawn king and pawn ending, which I knew he would know because he's he's older than me and he's been 2200 for 40 years. So I can't play rook e5 because taking g6 is too easily drawn. So I didn't do it. Okay, so I'm not really making a lot of progress. So I played rook d6 because I want to walk my king up after I play g5 and block with my rook. Okay, now here's the problem with blocking with my rook. If I play king here, I was worried about rook here because my king is really far from my pawns. Thanks, DYI Bail, dental plan. Lisa needs braces. So I play king f5 and he checked me. Now, how do I move my king and not lose my g-pawn? And he just checks me forever. So I have to play king e5. So I went back and played king e5.
Yeah, okay.
Now, again, if he does nothing, it's a draw. He can just make any illegal move. Okay, and he made a bad move, which still draws. Played here, and when I played king e5, I saw this great trick. Okay, I'm still an old man. Okay, I played king f5 and he made a losing move. It's the move you would play. That's the losing move. So think of the move you would play with black, realize it's losing because I said so, and then play another move.
Well, probably, rook h5.
Rook takes h5 loses.
It's a natural move, right? That's the losing move.
That was the trick. That was the trick that I played. King f5. By the way, it's amazing that that's losing.
Let me find.
I don't really blame him. He had less than a minute on his clock.
Right,
I don't blame him. The right move is not playing rook takes h5.
Right.
Like there's any move. Yeah, like rook here doesn't matter.
Any move. Oh,
any move is good. Yeah. Yeah, basically you want to check the king forever. So wherever you can check the king forever would be, that's. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Yeah, I don't have any threats. I can't do anything of note. I can't I can't do nothing. Like the way that I wanted to win, like if I could cheat, was rook here, random legal move, check, and then mate. Of course, he's always checking me when I try to do that, so I can't do that. Okay. So anyway, I found this trick and he fell into it. Okay, white to play and win. Now this statement is hard to believe for the casual observer because that looks pretty drawn. And about half the people are going to suggest an illegal move here, and I already see it in the chat. Yes. No, twice. I knew this illegal move would happen. 2 people already suggested this illegal move.
Aw.
Yeah.
Let me look there.
And they were like, G6 doesn't win, king H6. G6 is illegal. I knew there'd be G6 in the chat. I knew that. That was 100% guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed in life except you're going to suggest G6 in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
I play rook E8, rook D8, I mean, and you're in Wang Chung. Rook and pawn against rook and pawn, and you're lost. Okay, so you have 2 kinds of legal moves. One is with your rook and one is with your pawn. Your king can't move. If you move your rook, it doesn't matter where you move your rook. I play G6 check and rook H8 mate. The aforementioned mate.
Okay, yeah.
You have to play G6 because that's the only move that doesn't lose your rook, right? Okay, then I go here. Now I'm going to play rook check and then king takes pawn. Normally, the rook and the knight pawn is a dead draw, but your rook is on the worst square ever. If you put that rook any other square on the board that's not hanging, well, it's black's move. Yeah, put this rook, okay, here. Yeah, these are the only 2 squares where I'm winning on the whole board. So somehow it's a trick. It's a study. Yeah, rook d8 would be like the answer to a study. This is the second time I win best endgame prize. So he moved his rook. I check. Here. Now, if his rook is anywhere on the board that's not this file, he can play rook to the back rank, and it's a dead draw. You can't win with the knight pawn. Knight pawn's the worst.
Okay.
He could play rook a8, rook b8, rook a8, rook b8, and you can't win. There's no winning plan.
I remember that vaguely from the
Okay, but he can't play rook f1 because I check and trade rooks and play king h7 and I queen.
All right. Yeah.
So what's his only move? What's the only move in this position black can play? Because I'm threatening rook d8 mate.
Right. And king f8.
Right. Okay. Okay, now this is very funny. It doesn't matter what I do, I'm winning. Every move wins. It doesn't matter. But there's only one winning method. And in this position, because of my grandmasterness and my memory from 30, 40 years ago, the move rook g8 came to mind. This move. And I was like, rook g8, that's stupid. Somehow that move hit me like I know that move. And I'm like, well, that's a dumb move. I'll just play rook here and I win. Okay, and he had like 28 seconds left here and he resigned. And I said, well, when you resigned, I'm not even sure I'm winning. I think I'm winning.
Right.
And he said, oh, it's the Luciana position. I said, no, it's not. That's when my king is here. My pawn is here. If my king was here, my pawn was here. This is an easy book win that we all know. Me and him. But I haven't gotten there yet. So this is funny. If he plays rook g1, I totally miscalculated when I played rook a8. Now, I would have seen it because I'd be brain dead if I didn't. I can play badly and still win. I just have to go back to the winning method. The reason rook g8 was the right move last move is because of the rook on g1. Okay, the winning method is rook g8, random legal move, king h7. This is how you win. Now, you're trying to play here, and king g7 wins. And if king here, you check, and then your pawn queens. This is the winning method. And you have to play rook g8 so your pawn's defended. And the reason you can't win by putting your rook on the side, and when I say you can't, you still can. If I play here, that way when he plays rook g1, I can play king g7 again. He goes back here. So I have to kick his king out, and then I have to play rook here so he can't play king f8, and then I can play the winning method, king h7. If he doesn't play rook g1, I can play king g7 here. If he plays rook here, king g7, he checks. I can play king here. Now he can't check because he can't go there either. He can't check because I block with the rook and I win the king and pawn easily. And now king g7 and g6 and etc. Okay, that's easy win. So when I thought rook g8 was the winning method, I didn't know why, and I was like, I'm just wrong. I'm an idiot. But I knew that that was the move, but I didn't know why. Now I do. So I played rook here and he resigned. Now I played rook here and he resigned. Now
I got to go.
No. Now, in this position, here was my intention in this position, which didn't happen, luckily. After here, I was going to go here. Now, after here, the only way to win is to go back. Check, here, and then do it again. And then play rook g8. My intention was to play the stupidest move in the chess history. That was my intention. My intention was king here, g6 check, rook takes, rook here check, winning his rook, which doesn't work because I'm in check.
Oh.
But that was what I analyzed when I played rook a8. And he was like, that's check. And I went, oh. So my way doesn't win. The only way to win is rook g8. However, when I played here, he resigned. Because he said, well, this is lost. He's right, it's lost, but I have to find the rook g8 idea to win. Which I'm not sure I would have, but I already found it. I just thought it was dumb.
Well, he was
now I would have realized it wasn't dumb.
He was super low on time, too.
Yeah, he was like obviously disgusted from, what happened in that endgame. So I win. I didn't win on time. He resigned.
True. And now listen, I'm going to go upstairs because Archer just got home. So I'll see you guys hopefully in a little bit. So you can go into the next one if you want.
No, we got to kill time.
All right.
Killed some time,
All right,
had some fun. Also, it's time for a second train. Then I win. That's right. Go, Karen. Man, I'm so dumb. I don't know why I knew the move rook g8, and then I just said, well, rook a8 wins. I don't need to play rook g8. Push my king up and pawn. But he was an older man than I was, so he knew he was losing. Yeah, rook g1 is the only move to give white any trouble at all. If you don't do that, king g7, g6, king g8, g7, Luciana position. But if he plays rook g1, the only way to win is to play rook g8, king h7, which wins. But there's no other winning method. Man, I almost played rook g8 too, and I was like, why would I play that stupid move? Because somehow I knew that was the move. But I was like, why? What's the problem here? He thought like I did. He's like, yeah, this is an easy win. I resign. But it's not an easy win. Did Magesh win the tournament? Magesh and Elshan tied for first. Elshan drew the last round. Magesh won the last round. They got 4 out of 5. So they got first, second. I tied for third with Tianqi Wang and maybe 1 or 2 other people. I'm not sure, maybe. Probably 1 or 2 other people. Probably 2 other people. That's what I'm thinking. Thinking Arby's. Let me see if they posted the results. Because I have a website that has the... That's the wrong browser. All right, let's see if this browser has the results. It does. Okay, so Dominique won his game against Anthony Parker. So Dominique tied for third with me and Tianqi Wang. And Patrick McCartney drew Emmanuel. Man, the guy that I drew in the first round who was 1980, well, he had a great tournament. He beat an expert, another expert, and drew a master in the last round. God damn. He gained like 80 rating points probably. So I was in a 3-way tie for third. Me, Tianqi Wang, and Dominique Myers. And Elshan and Magesh tied for first. And I got the old man prize. Yay! I'm the oldest. I win. Yeah. So I got third, fourth, fifth. I think there was a fifth. No, I guess there wasn't. There was just third and fourth. 200, 150. That's 450 divided by 3. That makes sense. No, that doesn't make sense. No, 350 divided by 3. Now it makes sense. Because I know what my prize was. It was 350 divided by 3. The least I could have won. No. Boo. So that was my second round. Now, unfortunately, my last round game, which was round 4, because we took a half-point bye in round 5, that was a short Grandmaster draw. So there's only one more game to show you, but it was the best game that I played. We'll wait for Karen to get back. Go, Dominique. Now, Grant Owen, who's the director of the tournament, and he's an NTD. He used to work for the USCF. He works at the Charlotte Chess Center for Peter. He's getting married Memorial Day weekend. Go, Grant. And Dominique and his wife, Maya, just bought a house. So everything's happening in Charlotte. Yeah, but panic, it's Black's move here. That's why rook g1 is good. This ending's too complicated for most of you. Just he resigned when he shouldn't have. And I am winning, but I have to find the winning method if he plays rook g1. But now I know the winning method, and I sort of knew it, but I didn't know why. I was like, rook g8, unnecessary. Because I thought, worst comes to worst, I'll do this, and then I'll win his rook with rook a7 check, even though it's illegal. So I didn't see the reason for rook g8. Now I see the reason for rook g8. Then I could play king h7, etc. And then we can, it's a long way to Tipperary. Etc. All right, time for another train between games. Trains during games don't work out well. Oh man, seltzer water. It's like Perrier, but much cheaper. King h6, Then he plays king f7. I said that like 4 times already. Now I'm still winning because I have to go back to that position and win it again. I have to play rook check, king here, king f8, rook check, and then play rook g8. So I'm not throwing the win away by playing like an idiot. And I'm pretty sure in this position, if I idiotically played king h6, that I would see g6 check, rook g6 is check. If I didn't, that would be funny. And then when I do that, I would realize that I have to play the other winning method. So we'll just hope that I would have won if the game had continued as it should have. Yeah, and the actual game is... Where's the actual game? Right, this is the actual final position. So his resignation was premature, but he was losing. But neither one of us knew why. Isn't this a famous position? No. Depends on your definition of famous. If you mean nobody knows about it except masters and grandmasters, yes. Probably many people know about this. But man, I knew rook g8, and I was like, rook g8, that's stupid. Let's play rook a8 and win. Waste my time with rook g8. But now I know why I have to waste my time with rook g8. Yeah, it's not easy to understand because the engine says every move wins, but it always comes back to playing rook g8 at some point to play the actual winning method. Rook g1 is the only move that gives white any problem. Otherwise, king g7, g6, Papa John's. Yeah, it's just a very easy win. But yeah, with the king going to f8, you have to get that king to g7. Once I play king g7, I can win easily. But with the king on g6, I can't let his king go to f8, but I can't let him stop my pawn. So rook g8 takes care of both. Then you could play king h7 when the rook's on g1, g6, king g7, Papa John's. Mainly Papa John's. Can you continue after rook g1? Rook g8, random legal move, king h7. Now, if rook h2, king g7, then g6, and that's a very easy win for me. Even I can win that. King f7, I check. King f6, I check. And then again, this is an easy win. Now it's the Luciana position. Now it's a known win. That's the famous position he was referring to, probably. Yeah, so after here, it looks like with the king so close and the rook here, you can do something, but you can't. Because this is the only move to stop here and here. And it doesn't stop it. Yeah, and then easy win. This is the infamous position that we were talking about. And then you play rook here, and you play king here. And this is the basic idea. And then here. Once the king and pawn are on the 6th and 7th rank, it's easy. But here they're on the 5th and 6th rank. So I gotta play rook g8 so I can play king h7. And as I said earlier, the reason this doesn't work with the same idea, king g7, g6, is he has king f8. Now, if I play something that doesn't work, I can just go back and do it again. I can go, oh, that didn't work, so let's go here and try something else. And then I would have played that, because I almost played it anyway. But I thought it was unnecessary. I guess it was unnecessary. I played rook a8 and he resigned. So I didn't show the winning technique and he resigned. Because he thought it was an easy win for me. He thought this was no problem. When rook g1 gives me problems, I got to find rook g8. If you ever have that position and you won't, theoretically you could win, but you'll forget and you still won't win. But theoretically you could. $100 centimes from Wes. This is the technical part of the game where it's easy for me, but you guys, you guys go play golf or something and play that badly. These are things that are already known. They're known knowns, and there's unknown knowns, and we don't know what we don't know. Admiral Stockdale. Surprised Archer hasn't gotten tired of Karen yet. What? He's been home 10 minutes. Let's see. My guy drew the last round. How did Jay Ashry do? If I could find her name, that would help. She won the last round. Good. I know some people at the tournament. If you ask me who won the bottom section, the answer is Fies. Not fries, Fies. Close. Man, Walter lost in the last round too. Man, he lost both his games today. God damn. Truth hurts. Man, losing all the games sucks. Yeah, Walter High was 3-0, and then he lost both of his games today. Etc. Go Jay Ashery. CL Smith knows who that is. Man, she was on one of the DGT boards. The games were shown live on Lee Chess, the top boards. So you could have actually watched the games while I was playing them. Except this one wasn't on DGT board because I drew round 1, so round 2 I was on the doofus boards. You know, the shit section. Sounds like Karen. My cat's breath smells like cat food. I just saw that episode. I never watched The Simpsons anymore. But I was flicking through the channels and the end was on. Man, hey, Wally. Oh, Walter won his first game on forfeit? That's a good way to win. Man, we're not getting a train going. Boo! Boo! I'm booing you guys. 2,300 of you, nobody can give $1. Terrible. Well, when I talked to Gettier and Plantinga, they said there's known unknowns and no knowns, and then Castaneda said he didn't agree. When my dad was at Wayne State University in the 50s and 60s, the philosophy department there was Gettier, Plantinga, and Castaneda. It was one of the top philosophy departments in the U.S. Now Wayne State is not one of the top schools in the U.S. God damn. Gettier was clearly the stupidest and knew nothing, and he's the most famous because he wrote one paper. In 40 years of teaching, he wrote one paper. And that's the paper that made him famous. Frankly, ridiculous. Yay, P posture has good posture. Yay, thanks, Bishop Takes. We have a train.
I got kicked to the curb already.
It took a long time. Okay, so Wes.
I got a snack.
Bishop Takes, posture.
Pet the dogs.
Oh, good dogs. The dogs didn't want you to leave, I bet.
They're pretty tired.
Mm-hmm. It was a very short paper. That's correct.
Sorry. Just move the whole table.
Truth hurts. Don't know much about epistemology.
Anyway, I'm back.
Pancake Gremlin, posture for the first time ever. Subscribe because he has good posture. Thanks, Pancake Gremlin. Thanks, Churchill the Great.
Yeah, I need to review the Lucina position. I didn't fully understand all this.
I don't know epistemology, but I do know oncology. Big money, no whammies. Yay, puzzle pawn.
Yay.
Do you have a Wordle opening repertoire? I do. I always play train the first move. I don't know why. I like hype train. I just play train. It gets rid of a lot of the good, important letters.
How's
Maybe
it
the
going,
I's
puzzle
not so
pawn?
good. That way I never think on move one, like, what should I try today? Oncology is so close to epistemology. I don't know about that. Ends in ology. George Botterill was your science tutor. Wow. He's a British chess player. If you can call British chess players chess players. That's why you haven't heard of him. Oh, snap. Gotcha, Botterill. Oh, it's Puzzle Pawn. He says, hi, Karen.
Yeah, I said hi to him first.
I wonder if I'm going to see Puzzle Pawn this week. I think the answer is fries. And also no. He said it's 20% he's going to the National Open.
Okay.
That's not good percent.
Darn. Well.
You missed my joke. Practically the same thing. The truth hurts. That was your joke? Oh, oncology is so... What? I said your joke.
How can we make it higher than 20%?
21%? Well, you know, he's got a lot of stuff going on in his life.
Yeah. Dye your hair blue.
Yeah. That would make it higher than 20%?
I question whether we could even know the difference between. Hey, that's a pretty smart comment, Matt, with 2 T's.
Well, he's got 2 T's. That could be Matt Larson.
Oncology and epistemology.
What do you think?
Because in epistemology, how do you know what we know?
Yeah, I already made the joke, and they're just making my joke
I didn't
again.
even hear it.
Yeah.
But Matt
Don't
with
know
2
much
T's.
about oncology.
Could be Matt Larson.
You know, people who don't know a difference between epistemology and oncology are a cancer on our society.
I didn't hear it either, Matt with 2 T's, but I was reading the chat.
I didn't make the exact joke, but I had the wordplay going.
Aw.
As a 1,000 player, how should I improve? Play chess. Next question.
Tactics. Do a lot of tactics.
Ooh,
That's what
oncology is
I'm
the study
doing.
of uncles. Play a lot of chess.
Good old hotel internet crashing my connection.
Boo.
Hey,
boo.
how did you do last round, Wally? How did you do?
Yeah, did you play the beeve?
He's probably not.
That's the joke you like? I'm always surprised when you crack up. I'm like, oh, you're looking especially ravishingly. Can you say especially and
Who
ravishingly?
said that? Oh, thank you.
Wouldn't it be especially ravishing? He's already put especially.
You know,
He could say ravishingly or especially ravishing, but they're both with Lee.
I'm not He's probably typing on a mobile. Thank you, Dua Kappas. The hotel and food everything was great.
That was good, yeah. Hotel was great.
Grandma. The
Won in
hotel
23 moves. Good job.
was perfect for this type of event.
What's her name won the last round, too? Jay Ashery.
Oh, she did? Oh,
Yeah.
good.
And
then
John Drew.
we got to walk to Whole Foods, which is good because they have lots of good food.
There you go, Laszlo.
Starbucks. It was great. Everything was great, except for my chess play was not so great.
They're going to update their terms and increase ad time. That sounds good. More ads is better. You can ask Negreanu. God, we just barely got past level 1. Barely.
Yeah,
Thanks, Bach.
I met Naroditsky. It was a good tournament.
His girlfriend was there too, Naroditsky. Oh, snap. Gotcha, Danya. Extra Cheese
Starbucks.
Project.
Starbucks is really, it was right across the street, so that was very convenient.
Look what Many Ghosts said. If you're 1,000 by Dvoretsky's endgame manual, hit your keyboard with it to make moves. Yeah, I agree with that. That's funny. And so forth. And so on.
What do you think about Arkady still heading FIDE?
Neutral question. What? We don't really think about it very often.
Well,
no, Donnie doesn't have a girlfriend. I'm kidding.
I haven't followed it very closely, but I've seen some little Twitter
He might have a girlfriend.
chatter about it. I'm not sure about it.
Zero space chess.
I guess,
NJ Crispy, why you showing up late to the stream? Boo!
I see no
boo.
reason to remove him unless he does something incorrect just because he's Russian. I guess that's what I feel about it. But I haven't followed it, so I don't know if he's already done stuff or hasn't done stuff.
Now let's talk about something serious. Okay, now Naroditsky.
Yeah.
You when you compare him with Eric Rosen, you have an opinion, which we won't say. Then, hold on. Then you never see him in person, but now you did.
I've seen them both in person.
Right. So now is your opinion the same or has it changed?
My opinion is still the same.
That's what I thought.
Shall never be uttered.
Well, I can tell them. I mean, they know. It's obvious.
No.
What?
I'm serious.
It's obvious.
No, and I don't think I told you. No.
You did tell me. Yeah. R. Kelly hitting FIDE as long as it's R.A. Kelly. Danya's a grown man. The other is a boy. I would guess Eric Rosen's older than Danya. Let's look it up. We already looked it up. I forgot.
I mean, people all the
Eric
time.
Rosen's 28, right? We looked it up already.
That seems right. He's tall. Danya's tall. I don't know how tall. But people all the time want me to say who's better looking between the Botez sisters. I will never
Eric
ever
Rosen
pick one.
Eric
sister,
Rosen's 2 years
ever.
older than Naroditsky.
Yeah, I would have thought that ever.
On his Wikipedia, it says also known as Danya.
Yeah, he was tall.
It says on his Wikipedia, according to Karen Boyd, in
Thank
comparison
you,
with
Abe
Eric
Roman.
Rosen. See Eric Rosen's Wikipedia. Wow. Personal life. Yeah. His father emigrated from Ukraine, while his mother came from Azerbaijan. Graduated Stanford with a degree in history. Terrible. He lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's correct.
Yep.
Yeah, he's from Modesto. Man, that sucks. Man. Talk about terrible.
You'll go out on a limb and pick one of them.
Alex
C.L.
is
Smith.
older. That's right. But yeah, Naroditsky is younger than Eric Rosen. And don't forget it.
They're very similar level in looks.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, to me.
The Botes sisters or Naroditsky and Rosen?
Naroditsky and Rosen.
What about the Botes sisters?
Same. They're both beautiful.
Who's Robert?
And I will never pick one.
I don't know who Robert is, but Danya's taller. But I'm not sure who Robert is. But Danya's taller anyway. Whoever Robert is, Danya's got him. I mean, Peter. I think Naroditsky's taller than Peter. You agree? Well, Robert Hess is like 3 feet tall. Obviously, Naroditsky's taller than Hess.
Did you see Laszlo?
Yeah. I mean, like our dog's taller than Robert Hess. Is Danya taller than Magnus? Yes. Yeah, this was my game with Bobby Fischer. Yeah, that is correct. I thought he'd be dead and rather pungent, but it was a different one. So, etc.
I'm tired. Hey, we could go over my game if
We didn't go over my round 3 game.
my opponent's
I don't think she's a Van Forest fan. Somebody said, who's better, Danya or Jordan Van Forest? I'm not even sure that's her favorite Van Forest. Thanks, Abe Froman. We missed you earlier.
I don't know what Lucas or Jordan
Somebody just did something.
looks like. Well, okay, you're right. I was trying
Let
to.
me see. Oh, no, we died.
Trying to
We
find
died at
something.
level 1.
Oh.
Yeah. No, Von Whaley and Kramnik are taller than Naroditsky. Thanks, A2, R2, P2. Sounds like a name I made up.
I missed something. I was trying to find it. So let me just scroll for
Hikaru or Magnus? Magnus is taller than Hikaru, if that's the question. Eric Hansen or Danya? Good question. She won't answer those questions, but she knows the answer. Do you mean who's better looking or who's taller?
marginally
They're
different.
about the same height, Eric Hansen and Danya. I think Danya's taller, but I'm not sure.
They're all similar.
I'm not sure.
You handled the King's Indian much better than my last round opponent. Okay, that's what I was looking for to see if Wally. So did you win, Wally? Oh, you won in 23
Yeah, he said he won
moves.
quickly. Thanks, Wes.
Finished 3 of 5. That's great. Okay, I missed that, so I got confused. All right, I'm caught up. Well, yeah, I
Ready?
mean, I hung a piece, so,
Which game?
with Wally.
Oh.
So I took his F pawn.
What did Eddie Haskell say?
Oh, golly.
Sounds like something he might
Gee
say.
Willikers.
I like the way he's like the bad kid. He's a pretty nice
I
bad kid.
know.
He's pretty straight-laced.
Yeah, I had a crush on him when I was a little girl.
Eddie Haskell?
Yeah.
Somebody had to. Why, because he was the bad boy?
I mean, no, you couldn't get a crush on the beef. Gross.
Man, his brother wasn't looking good either. Tony Dow didn't look too good. Man,
I can't even remember what the brother looks like.
not good. Well, better than the beef, but it's not good. Yeah.
Yeah. The beef.
Nobody's taller than Kramnik is correct. Probably Malikov is. Or Malakov, whatever they call themselves. All right, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, third game.
I have to make a hot chocolate later.
Okay. All right, this is my game with Luciana Morales, who we met in Memphis. One of the worst cities ever. Memphis, terrible. Back me up.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see enough of it, but
Lucky
the
you.
food was bad. The food, and I
Yeah.
wanted to go to Graceland. I didn't get to go to Graceland.
Phil Hellmuth is probably taller than Kramnik. Kramnik and Von Whaley are about the same. Maybe Kramnik's taller. Etc. Memphis is like Birmingham, but worse. Yeah, I agree with that. Never played in a chess tournament. If I register for the Chicago Open, I end up playing Children all tournament long. I hope not. Children will crush you. No, you won't play Children. You'll play at least half adults. Most of the players are adults. So yeah, play the Chicago Open. We can meet you, and we'll get some vegan sausage.
Yeah, definitely Abe Froman. You'll play some kids and some adults. Yeah, I agree with all that. You should definitely play. Hey, by the way, Abe, my brother, FYI, moved to Washington. He and my sister-in-law are
D.C.
Washington, D.C. Abe was a former student of Frank's.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know if you remember.
Don't tell Yabba when the Chicago Open is. He might show up. Memorial Day weekend, as per usual.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's an unusual format for all adults, but it is fun. Yeah, I don't mind playing with kids, but a lot of people do, and it was nice to have just adults.
What do you think of that?
It's pretty.
Yay. But only 12% as pretty as you.
No.
That's either a computing error or I'm the most romantic robot in the universe. What show's that? Let me one show I said robot.
Futurama.
Correct.
Take a dive.
Robert Hess is like 3'2". I don't know, he's like 5'3", I guess.
I don't know. I'm 5'4". I thought he was my height or taller.
Really?
But, not super tall.
Anybody shorter than me is short. Rawr.
He's probably 5'4" or 5", maybe.
Birmingham's I've never been to, and it's definitely better than Memphis. I've never been there.
Yeah, Birmingham's way better than Memphis.
Yeah. Your thing's spinning a lot. Oh, stop spinning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is WIM Luciana Morales. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you were saying we met her in Memphis.
Yeah, she was 2-0. She won her 2 games, and she beat a 2200 in round 2. And I was the highest rated 1.5, so we got paired in round 3. Okay.
She also, FYI, works for Chessable.
That's correct.
So a lot of people know her in the chess world.
So I played the Slav, and I noted in pregame preparation she usually played E3. I had nothing prepared for that. And she played G3, which I've played. And she told me she used to play Queen C2, which I've also played. And the 2 main moves here are DC and Bishop F5, or Marvel, whichever is funnier. Okay, I play Bishop F5 because that's the move that I hate facing when I'm white. And now we transpose into what, Karen? What does this look like? Does it look like a bitch? Then why are you treating it like a bitch? What movie was I referencing?
Darn.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I should always just say Pulp Fiction.
Does it look like a bitch? What does
Because
this
that did
look
sound
like
like a Pulp Fiction reference.
Mm-hmm. Very good, Red07. It's a reverse London.
Yeah, it does look like a reverse London.
Right, it is a reverse London.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But what's his name?
Marcellus Wallace?
No, the Slav defense.
Oh, it's the Slav, but it looks like a reverse
I agree.
London. Yeah.
I was going to say that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the game continued in boring fashion. One interesting way for white to play is like knight c3, queen b3, putting pressure here. Mm-hmm. But she played for the double fianchetto. After the game, she said, "Why did you play h6?" And I said, "So my bishop has a square." What? Sometimes they want to win your 2 bishops.
I know. I do that when I'm playing the London.
Yeah, when the knight's on b1, I don't care about knight h4 because I can play bishop e4. Yeah. And then f3 is pretty weakening. So, yeah, now I care about knight h4. The h6 is the engine move. Now I thought about my game with Tony Miles. And Tony Miles, I played bishop e7 in a similar position, except his pawn was here. And then I played bishop d6, queen e7 later. But with the pawn on d4, I didn't want to play bishop d6, because when the knight goes to e5, that takes away my knight takes e5 move, walking into the fork. And if my bishop's on d6 and she plays e4 later, I didn't want my bishop to get attacked. If she plays e4 later, which happened, and I take, the d pawn can be attacked, but now with the bishop on d6. That has to be on f6. So everything I said actually happened and worked in my favor. So I played bishop e7. The engine, of course, says bishop d6. Okay, now I didn't know what to do because I got all my pieces out and I castled. Isn't that enough? Okay. So now I'm like Karen. I made random passive moves. Yeah.
Hey.
Okay, so I played the engine move. Again, I haven't looked at this game with an engine, so I don't. None of the. Usually, I look at the games with an engine at the tournament. I didn't bring my computer with me, so I don't know. All right, but the engine plays the move that I played.
11
A5.
years got my back.
A5. I want to play A4 and tickle a little. Karen told me not to tickle my opponent, although I was playing Patrick McCartney at the time. Okay, and she played A3, so that if I play A4, she'll play B4. So this is funny. I considered taking and playing knight D7. This is what the engine does.
Yeah.
The engine really likes black here a lot. I wasn't so sure. The engine loves black. Okay, I played a move that nobody would play, especially Karen, because it's a weird move. Okay, so I want to move my queen. By the way, I almost did this, but I decided not to. I wanted to move my queen so I could play like rook to d8 or something. My rook on f8 is sort of silly. And I didn't know where to move my queen. Every square looked wrong. Now, I don't want to play queen c7 because she'll play rook c1 and my queen will be embarrassed. So I played queen b8. Then I put my rook here, but it wasn't allowed. And actually, when I played this, my intention was to play knight takes, and then I could play rook d8 later and be on the half-open file here, which will soon be open. But she beat me to the punch. She traded on d7 and played e4. I told her I thought that gave her an equal position where, like, maybe I'm slightly better. The engine says it's all zeros. Now, this is interesting. In this position, the obvious way to recapture is with the knight, but the engine takes with the bishop because it wants the knight on e4. It says it wants this knight to be on e4 because the knight's really good. And the bishop on e4 just hits like granite. I got like all my pawns on white squares here. Okay,
Right.
she took with the knight, which is like the normal move. I played rook d8. The engine agrees, says it's equal. Queen e2, engine agrees. I don't like queen c7. I played knight f6. Man, here the engine plays knight d2. That's so passive. Maybe they can redirect their knight to e5 later. Okay, she played rook a d1. I traded everything on e4 and played bishop f6, which is what the engine says I should do. And this is just weak. This isn't good. So these positions are better for black. Sometimes when you have these pawn structures, you have a white square bishop on c8 and you choke on your own rage. But once you play bishop f5 and e6, this is sort of the position you're hoping for. See, if white plays d5 and trades all the pawns, it should be a draw. If white doesn't play d5, I could quadruple attack her d pawn and double pin it. I can play rook d7, queen a7, rook d8, and her pawn is pinned a couple of ways, and I can play e5 or c5, but mainly c5 because it's pinned to her bishop. And she's just protecting her pawn. I'm attacking her pawn. So even though it's equal, it's much better to have black because white has no play. So this is just like a weak pawn here because she's played c4. When you play the Fort Knox variation of the French defense, which I've played, you get this kind of position, passive, but you're attacking d4 and solid. And usually you're trying to trade off this white square bishop for a knight, and you're giving your opponent the two bishops. I didn't have to do that here, just one bishop each. Now, she very quickly played a move here, confusing Karen. I know it confused Karen because it confused me. Then when she played, I went, oh yeah, that makes sense.
I haven't seen the game.
Right, not a move I would think of. She played bishop c1. She broke the pin. Now her bishop can go to e3, or she could play bishop f4, bishop e5. That actually makes sense. Bishop c1, however, is a mistake. I have one move that punishes it. See if you can find it.
Okay.
As he gets more water for his parched throat and such.
So that was a mistake.
Now it goes from equal to black is better. 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. Black is clearly better now. This is the kind of stuff I'm good at, restricting and such. Watch. See, Karen can't move at all.
Let's see. Oh, you get blocked there. I have a hard time seeing blocks so much.
Mm-hmm. So my opponent wants to play bishop e3 or bishop f4, probably bishop f4.
Mm-hmm.
I can make a move that stops both. So even though I didn't see bishop c1, and I was like, I appreciated that she wants to play bishop f4, then I was like, oh, I can play this move. That bishop c1's not so good. And she didn't see this move, as she told me after the game. And then she thought a long time after my next move. I prevented her from doing stuff she wants to do.
So she wants to play bishop f4 and where else?
Bishop e3, bishop f4. Just, I mean, that way it's not pinned. You know, just move her bishop somewhere good.
Yeah. I mean, if you wouldn't double your pawns, would you? That makes sense.
What move are you suggesting?
Well, I mean, if you went bishop g5. Actually, you can get blocked by the f pawn anyway. I don't know. Queen, a queen move?
Yeah, queen d6. Now her bishop can't move because her a pawn's hanging. If she moves her bishop.
Right.
And I'm threatening this. Free pawn. So the move that makes the most sense is bishop b2, but she just came from there.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
I was looking at this, but I was scared because of, well, just the rook. I always get, you've got 1, 2, 3.
No, I don't get scared. I calculate. Yeah, I go here and I have e5 and c5 to back me up. No pawn can ever attack it.
Oh, yeah, the pawn's a bounce.
Yeah, I got all kinds of backup.
I was just trying to figure. Okay.
But mainly I'm stopping the bishop from moving because I can go here. But okay, I'm threatening this too. Now, here's the difference between grandmaster and non-grandmaster. There's only one difference. Okay, if I'm white here, I'm like, motherfucker, like in Pulp Fiction, and I play bishop b2. I'm like, damn, didn't see queen d6, I suck, which I already knew, so I play bishop b2. When you're a lower rated player, you don't want to admit that you suck. Grandmasters know we suck. You guys don't know it. You guys are like, I'm 2100. I'm better than that 1900 guy that I hate. That's all you guys do. I'm 1500. I'm better than that 1200. Okay? So you guys don't admit mistakes because you don't want to admit that you make mistakes. I voted for Trump, and then I voted for him again because I voted for him the first time. Okay? You have to admit when you made a mistake. Okay? I had a kid, then I had another one. Okay, that's ridiculous, right? Frankly, ridiculous. Who would have 2 kids? Not you, not me. Okay, maybe. Now, so in this position, she was thinking, and she was thinking forever. And I thought to myself, she's trying to find a move that's not bishop b2, but no move exists like that. But I was wrong. Trying is the first step to not playing the right move. I mean, she can't let me take this, so she has to play bishop b2. She can't lose either one of these pawns. But she found a move that didn't play bishop b2. She played queen g4, threatening bishop takes h6. Now, after the game, I found out why she didn't play bishop b2, because she didn't analyze 20 moves ahead like I did. Watch this variation. You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Bishop b2. She thought this was bad because she thought I'd play c5, which I would not play, but she thought I would play it. Then you have to take on c5 because I'm going to win your d pawn. And then I take this. Now, if you take this, which probably isn't that bad, and it's not, and lose a piece after queen takes b. Oh, actually, queen e2, I didn't see that. I thought queen takes b7 was interesting. Oh, queen e2 just gets the piece back. And this is a draw. Neither one of us saw this, but she thought this was good for black, and I said bishop takes f6. Okay, this is critical coming up. Mm-hmm. Now, it looks like queen d3 wins. And I saw this when she didn't play bishop b2. I wasn't going to play c5. See, if we trade queens, I'm up the exchange. Her bishop's hanging. I want to trade queens. What's the only move she can make, which keeps equality? Yeah, no kids in 3 money would be good. Man.
Just to keep the equality.
There's only one good move for white. Go, Karen. It's my first time looking at the game with an engine. My analysis holds up. The interesting part of the game is coming up, and that's where I don't know if my analysis was good, but Peter said it was. He looked at it with an engine on Lee Chess. Boo, Lee Chess. I mean, yay.
I don't know.
Correct. You don't. Okay, so I'm up the exchange.
Yeah.
Your bishop's hanging and queens are getting traded. But you can equalize material. The only way to do it, you know it's white's move, right? Okay, the only way to do it is queen g4, threatening mate. Stopping pawn takes bishop.
Okay.
And then the rook is hanging. So now the engine says g6. It says queen h4, which, okay. And then take this, and then it says this is equal. Okay, which I believe, but I would not want to have black there. So I actually can't play c5 because I don't get any advantage. I was just going to play slow and boring, like rook d7, rook here, b5, and just slowly get an advantage. Engine agrees. She played queen g4. So now I can take this, and she takes this. Wow, the engine says b5. And then if she takes this pawn, I can win. Wow, b5. I didn't look at b5. I looked at taking this and not taking it. I didn't look at b5. I looked at taking this and she takes this, or just moving my king so she can't take it. b5 is the best move. Wow. All right, I play king f8. And now I thought, all right, the reason she played queen g4 was now she can play bishop b2, the variation she didn't calculate correctly the first time. And now after this, her queen is defending her rook. Right. So I can't play queen takes rook. So I was like, okay, she's going to play bishop b2. And she thought a long time, and she didn't. She found a move that totally shocked me, but I approve. I was just shocked by it. It's the most anti-positional move in the position. If you find it, you understand what anti-positional means. What's the most anti-positional move for white? That's what move she played. By the way, the engine says on the previous move and this move, she should play bishop b2.
Maybe c5.
Correct.
Yeah.
She played c5 and I was taken aback.
That's weird with the pawns.
I was like, say what? Because queen d5 threatens 2 pawns. Then I realized why she did it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Indeed. The engine doesn't like it, but the engine's not necessarily right. Now, what depth is that? 28? I guess it's at 40. We'll see what it says. She wants to play bishop f4, bishop d6 check. That's a very nice bishop. That's a good bishop. It kills my rooks. So I played queen d5, and she played bishop f4, as explained. Yeah. Now here I thought a long time. I can sacrifice an exchange in different ways and get extra pawns. For example, I can take bishop d6 check, rook d6, takes on d6, c5, round this pawn up. Round it up. Rook d8, take it. And then I'll have a bishop and 2 pawns for a rook, and my bishop is magnificent. Mm-hmm. So I looked at this. The engine says I'm better here. It likes this. It likes what I did better. And then I looked at taking this pawn and letting her rook come in, and her bishop come in, and her queen come in. I looked at that for a long time. I decided to do that. I also looked at h5. The engine says h5 now is the best move. And then bishop takes d4. I thought about doing that. The point of h5 is when the queen moves, the queen's not attacking this anymore. So in the variation I showed you, bishop d6 check, the bishop's not defended sufficiently. So that's why I have to sack the exchange.
Oh, okay.
However, h5, which I saw, when her queen moves, it's not going to be on this pawn. So then I can take it and not sack the exchange. But I was very worried about having my bishop pinned, and I was worried about my pawn on h5 being weak.
Yeah.
And the engine says, don't worry about that. It says, here in bishop takes d4, yay, go Ben.
Yeah, I was worried about this.
Although it does sack the exchange after this. It plays queen takes c5, here, and says black is killing it. I do like black here, but I don't have any passed pawns. I do like black. I'm not saying I don't. I like black. Okay, so I thought a long time here, and I played queen b3, which is very good. The engine says that's tied for first with h5. Letting her rook get active. But I thought, I have a passed pawn, I'm going to win. And you know what happened? I got that passed pawn. Okay.
Yeah, I saw the very last part.
Okay, now I don't understand the engine's move. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I didn't... Well, okay, now the engine has another move. Ooh, that move I like, actually. Oh, I didn't see that. I would have played it if I'd seen it. Darn. Oh, I definitely had a good move here that I missed. Damn.
Yeah, you know what?
Now, in this position, if it's white's turn to move, which it's not, white's going to play queen h5, threatening mate.
Right.
And I have a very simple way of stopping that, which I did not play. I played a bad move here. My first bad move of the game. I have a very simple rook d5. Very simple. That stops queen h5.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the only thing I'm worried about is queen h5, queen f7, mate. Well, I didn't see rook d5 was legal. Jesus Christ. Now it says I'm +2. It says I'm a pawn up and better because I have that passed pawn. I have d5 because she played c5. I'm just realizing this now because I didn't engine my games. Yeah, rook d5 and queen my a pawn. If she has no attack on the 7th rank, I don't care anymore. Okay, I would have played rook d5 if I'd seen it. The other engine line, which I'm scared to play, is king here, queen here threatening this, g6. And it says this is nothing for white. Now it says just play chess. Like just move the queen and push pawn. It says like this is nothing. I mean, this is scary, but I guess it's nothing. I guess there's no real threat. Okay, I played queen d3, which is a mistake. That gives away a lot of my advantage. And my idea was to play queen g6 and trade queens, and then queen this pawn, which is what happened, but it gives away a lot of my advantage. She played queen h5. I played queen g6. The engine wants me to play g6. It literally doesn't care about these three pieces attacking my king. I didn't realize how nothing this was for white, that white's attack here just is meaningless. Man, I didn't play this game as well as I thought I did. My understanding of the position wasn't very good. I understood this. And you can see the engine, a4, a3, that's the engine line, is I'm pushing my a pawn, and I'm plus 1.6. Material's equal here, too. Also, this pawn is absurdly weak because she played c5. But I was afraid of this queen, rook, and bishop combo, but I have no reason to be. Okay, so I played very badly here. Queen d3 is not very good. It's okay. And then queen g6 is terrible. She checked. She took. Okay. Yeah, now she messed up, and I told her after the game what she should do, and the engine agrees with me. Now, this is tough to do. I'm not... Okay. She made a move that shocked me, and it turns out her move isn't very good. She should give this pawn away, which is hard to do because she's already down a pawn.
Right.
She should play rook a1, and then if I take it, play rook a4, and then I'm all talking a badge. I'm up 2 pawns, so that's why she didn't do this. Why be up? But what do? This bishop is a monster of all monsters. How do I activate any of my... What do I do? I play here, so I don't lose my bishop. And now if she just plays like king g2, king g1, what do I do? Yeah, the engine says I'm half a pawn up here, but I don't believe it. I think this is nothing. I think the engine's wrong. I think it's going to say equal if it thinks for like an hour. Because I don't see what black does here. I don't see a plan. I can't get my rooks active because of that bishop.
I don't know. It's unusual.
This isn't... So I told her to play this way, and she was like, yeah, I like that. Yeah. And the problem with a4... stopping rook a4 is she still blocks this, and then she can just win my pawn if she wants. She can play rook here and take. I don't have time to defend it. Yeah, the engine says this is equal. It doesn't think white's better, white's worse here. Okay, so she made a mistake in this position because she didn't want to allow that, which is easy to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And she played bishop e5, which really surprised me. Yeah, that's a really bad move. And from here on to the end of the game, I played really well because I'm an old man. I can still play the endgame. Yeah, now it says I'm winning, so that's the losing move. Okay, so I traded. And in this position, after trading, I went into a big think. Because there's two moves that are obvious. What are the two obvious moves for black?
Well, rook d5.
Correct.
I mean...
And what's the other one? That's right, you did good.
Let's see. Maybe... No, that doesn't seem right. The other... I don't know what the other one is.
The chat's doing good on this one.
Maybe try to push your pawn.
Try.
A4?
Yeah, A4. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a good idea.
Yeah.
And then this is a good idea. Now, here's the problem with this idea. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, this is why I'm a grandmaster, and you guys are sitting at home saying, how come Ben can't play at all, but he's still better than me? This is why. I can't play at all, but I really understand chess. I just can't play. It's sort of weird. I mean, like, I could give Magnus a lesson in this position, okay? And Magnus would say, like, I'm better than you. Why are you giving me a lesson? And I say, just listen. Just shh. Okay. Now, there's only one thing that matters in chess. Counterplay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm a pawn up. These pawns are weak, and I have a passed pawn. Right. So I got a lot going on. What does she have going on? Nothing yet. What does she want to have going on? She wants to double up on the bubble up. Okay, the bubble up in this situation is the 7th rank. So what she wants to do after rook d5, okay, which I did not play, is she's going to put her rook here. She's going to put her other rook either here, here, or here, depending on where my rook is. Mm-hmm. And she's going to play rook here. So I was analyzing like these kinds of variations. Okay, and I was like, if she goes here, threatening mate, I queen would check, and then I stop mate and I win, which is true. Okay, but she doesn't threaten mate on h8. She threatens mate on g8 by checking me here, and then she can play here.
Okay.
And then if I queen, I'm up a queen, but this is not a win.
Right.
I have to stop mate. So what's funny is I can play, if I play king f8, she just checks me forever. But I can play rook d7, which I saw this, by the way. I saw rook d7 here, and she's threatening perpetual with either rook. So I can play here and stop it. And this is still a draw? Why is this a draw? Oh, because she can go here, and then this doesn't do anything. Oh, and then she can go here, threatening mate. And mate. Damn. And I have to go here. Wow, this is still a draw. I'm up a queen. It's my move. Still can't win. Double up on the bubble up. So I'm looking for my opponent's counterplay. To stop my opponent's counterplay, randomly attacking those two weak pawns doesn't do it. Okay, what does do it is queening my a pawn. If I queen my a pawn and move earlier, then there's none of that. So I played a4 exclam, the engine move. Now let's cheat and just try to double on the 7th rank. Check. Mm-hmm. And takes, resigns, defending g7. So to stop her counterplay, I have to play a4. By the way, I want to play a4. So I don't need these pawns to win. I need to, get this pawn over here. Okay, now she made a mistake. The reason she made a mistake was she didn't see my best move. And after the game, I said, you didn't see that, did you? And she said, no. Because when I played the move, she thought for like an hour and a half. And she was very confident after her move. She was like boasting. And then when I made my move, she was like, mother, son of a, why you little? Okay, I told her after the game she should play rook b6. Mm-hmm. Now, it's very hard to play rook b6 when you can play rook c7, attacking the same pawn, and prepare to double rooks on the 7th rank. Rook b6 gives up on that. You can't, okay. So she should have played rook b6. And the engine says rook d5 takes a3, rook a1. Yeah, I looked at that with her and I thought I was winning. Rook here, rook takes a3, and then rook takes this. Or I could take, I thought this was winning, but I wasn't sure. And the engine says +2. So probably winning. Probably. Okay, but she played rook c7. And she thought, if I can play rook b6 or rook c7 is better. Because not only is she attacking my c pawn, but she has rook b1, rook b7.
Yeah.
So, like, how could that be worse than rook b6 is a singular... stupid.
Purpose.
But this is like, okay, I can do that. I can do that. Okay. Then I played the best move here. Good luck. Don't cheat.
Okay, I can't see.
I'm really good at endgames, even though I still can't play chess anymore. This move is very atypical. If you played this move, I would yell at you if you were my student. Then when the engine said it was best, I'd be confused. I'm not even kidding. True.
I don't know. Rook a6.
Rook a6 is actually the right idea. The problem with rook a6 is now she can do the doubling on the 7th rank.
Yeah.
Right. Now her rook c7 makes sense. And then if a3, she goes here. And now it's a draw, it says. I'm risking losing, actually. I'm not risking that much. But.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Okay.
hard.
So I don't want her rooks on the 7th rank. So what move would I make to stop that?
Rook b8.
Rook b8, that's a good idea. It doesn't, it gives away the c
pawn.
pawn. Try again. Close. You couldn't be closer. That's how close you are.
Just go ahead. I don't like guessing all these different. I just don't know.
It's rook d to c8.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, if we trade rook, she's not doubling on the 7th. If we don't trade rook, she's not taking this pawn. Now, the reason I'm playing rook c8 and letting her take this pawn is I literally and figuratively don't care about this pawn. I care about this pawn, and here's why. One way to try to win is to just queen. She has to play rook a1. Okay. Now, if I play rook here, she can play rook b6. However, in this position, if I let her take this pawn and keep this pawn, then rook here wins. Because her rook can't go to b6 because my c6 pawn is in the way. So I'll show you what I mean. If she plays here,
I see it.
a3 here, a2 here, rook here, she can't stop this.
Right.
If she plays rook d6 to play rook d1, I take on d1, as in my game with Gina Polito 11 years ago. And then I queen. So she didn't see rook c8 because rook c8 is like against what you learned in rook and pawn endings to play such a passive move. My rook is fantastic. I can play rook d5. Rook c8's passive behind my pawn. But rook c8 stops all her double on the 7th counterplay. And I should win with this outside passed pawn. What's her king going to go 30 squares and take it? Because if we trade rooks, I'll just win the king and pawn ending. Because while she's doing that, my king can go win these pawns. So big think from her here. Big think. Because she didn't like rook c8. She didn't like that. And the engine says she should go here, and then I should be winning because I have like rook a5 and a3, and I'm going to win in the long run. So it should be winning. a3. She doesn't have time to double rooks anymore because I did that I pushed my a pawn so quickly. Now when she stops my pawn, now she can't hold on to these pawns. Problem with playing f4 to save this pawn is then her king gets mated on the back 2 rows. Her king has no shelter. So while I'm taking her pawn on c5, I can play rook to the 7th, and I can double on the 7th. Better watch it. Anyway, the engine says I'm plus 2.7 here. So she thought forever and ever and ever and traded rooks and played rook a1, rook a8. Now, I thought she'd play rook a3, but I figure I should win eventually. It doesn't matter what she does, I'm winning here. She played f4. I was like, yay, I got to play a3. King f2. Then I was like, well, if I play a2, she might be able to run over and take my pawn. Like I'm running, she's doing that anyway. So I want my king to move up. Can my king go here? Ish, don't think so. Can my king go here? No. Can my king go here? No. Can I go king a6? No, because it hangs my pawn. So how do I get my king up? Move your king up in the endgame. But how?
You could move it like kingside pawns.
Right, g5.
G5, yeah.
Then I do the song about the sweet loving woman,
Yeah.
the song about the, yeah. Okay, Nigel Short. Okay, g5 is correct. Now, if she lets me take and she takes with the pawn, my rook goes to a4, my king goes, and it's a cakewalk and a king walk. It's a vegan cakewalk. She has no counterplay. So she found really tricky counterplay, very excellent play from her.
All right.
Make sure you watch because it's
I am.
excellent.
Just a second.
Okay. Okay. So she played takes, and what she wants to do is play g4, and my king can't walk up there.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Now, here's the problem with g4 right away. Right away. If she plays g4 now, I can take both of these pawns. She didn't want to be 2 pawns down in an endgame. I just go here and I take them.
Right.
King up, I take this. She can take this, and I'll take this, and I'll be up 2 pawns, 4 against 2. So I'm winning. And it's barely winning. It's like +2. And if she defends this pawn, I go here and I have 2 passed pawns. And now my king can actually get out.
Right, yeah.
So she's losing all the king and pawn endings. Okay. So after take, she doesn't have time for g4. She played king here. And I played rook a5, because if she plays g4, I want to take both of her pawns again. So she's forced to play king e4. The engine says king g4 is better, but that's the same endgame. I take this. This is the engine analysis. It says this is a draw. Why am I playing g6? Well, her king is pretty active. Let me go back. What did I do wrong? Oh, rook a5 is a mistake. Wow. I didn't think rook a5 was... But actually the next move, I regretted playing rook a5, but I figured it out.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Wes, for the gift sub. Thank
Wow,
you.
rook a5 is a big blunder. I should just move my king up already.
Wait, now tell me what happened. So,
Yeah, I made a bad move here, rook a5.
Okay.
The reason it's bad is because in this position, which I thought was just a technical win, I'm up 2 pawns.
Right.
She plays rook a7, and her king is coming up here. And once her king gets to h5, the engine still thinks maybe I can win with g6, but I don't want to do that. Just to get her king out, because I don't want to give her the seventh rank. My king's no good then.
Yeah, your king's kind of
I don't like that move. The engine says this is good here. c5, move my king over here. I mean, that might win. My pawn's really strong. I think the engine's wrong. I think this is a win. I think I go here. I play c5. I move my king over here. And what's her king going to do? Her king's trapped. If her rook goes over here to take a pawn, this pawn's really fast. So I think this is winning. But it's much harder than what I should have done. Rook a5 is a mistake. I should move my king up immediately. Okay. So she played king e4, which is also a mistake, it turns out. And now I had good technique. I played g4. So she can't play g4. So now my king can walk up.
Right, yeah.
So she played king f4. And now I thought a long time. Because I said, if her king gets to g5, what if she just chills there? So I said, I don't care about this pawn. I got to get my king up. And she very quickly took on g4, which doesn't matter what she does, she's losing. But this seemed like a tougher defense to me. But I had it figured out. Yeah, now I play a2, and I wait for our kings to be lined up before I play g6. So if she takes, that's the same as the game. I play king g6.
Right.
If she plays here to keep my king out, I check, and then I go king g7, and I get my king out. She has to take king here, and I get my king up because I'm going to play rook check and king up, and I win. And the engine says +7. As long as my king can get up, I'll win. But she played king takes pawn, which made it easy, and I played king g6. Now here I thought the game was over. I'm going to play king f5, and I'm out. And then her rook is no good, and I take everything, and everything's good. And she played a tricky move here. The engine doesn't say it's tricky because the engine knows how winning it is. Sees 20 moves ahead, doesn't care. She played king h4, and I was flummoxed. I hate when I'm flummoxed. Because if I play king f5, which I've been begging to play the last 10 moves, she plays king h5, and if my king takes, she plays king g6. And then her king's active, and she's pushing her pawns. But I found a really nice way to win here. a2, she has to play g4. If she plays king g4, I check, and then I play king f5, and her king can't come in. So she plays g4. Now I play rook here, and she doesn't have any legal moves. She wants her pawn to be on g4 and her king to be on h4, because that keeps my king out. My king can't move up. Mm-hmm. Okay, but she's in Wang Chung.
Yeah. What happens if she just moves the h pawn?
That's what she did.
Oh.
Right? And then I play king h6. And she's in Wang Chung.
Again.
Mm-hmm. Now, you don't have a lot of legal moves here. You can move your rook and let me queen. Mm-hmm. Or you can play. One other legal move.
And g5.
You don't want to play g5
right.
because my king gets f5.
Yeah.
And then I take all your pawns. But that's the only move.
Yeah.
And then she played here. I checked and she resigned because now I win all of her pawns. Now, what's funny is, for you guys at home, you guys are like, this is rook and 4 against rook and 4, because it is. And Ben said he's winning, so I believe him. But why would you resign here? This seems like sort of close. Now Karen's going to confuse you. You ready to confuse them? Yeah. Read the engine evaluation.
I can't see.
You can do it.
Negative or 12. You're up 12.
I'm up 12.6. And it's even material. So when your chess coach, who everything they ever told you was wrong, said put your rook behind passed pawns, your coach was right. When your rook's behind a passed pawn, as the pawn keeps going forward, your rook is better, their rook is worse. That's the worst rook ever. All of my plans this game, like take on b3, take on a3, get a past a pawn, that's what happened. And I thought after the game, I played pretty well. But when you analyze the game, you realize you're no good. I already realized that a long time ago. But the things that I wanted to do, I was able to achieve. I wanted to get a past a pawn. I wanted to put pressure on her d4 pawn. I wanted to trade pieces and have a slightly better position. And the game worked out in that way because she's not Magnus Carlsen. So after the game, I think like, yeah, I played better than her. I did play better than her. But if she had played better, then the game would have been a draw. And I actually made it tough on myself.
Thank you, Gary the Gray ASMR, for the gift sub. Let me see if we missed anything else.
But it's funny, this position, which looks good for black because my rook's better, I'm about to win a pawn, is plus 1,000.
Yeah.
Because her rook just doesn't exist. The only way for her rook to exist is to play king b2 and then go into the dead lost king and pawn ending. It's the deadest lost king and pawn ending ever. Especially since it takes her 5 moves to do it, and I'm raking in the pawns or winning this pawn and queening, doesn't matter.
What's the computer score on this game? Hey,
I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I hadn't done it. Hey, Yas, how's it going?
I don't think I did the Fischer one, too. I forgot to do the Fischer one, I think. Yeah. No, the game accuracy is not going to be high. No. I'm the worst. Let's do a game accuracy.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't do the other game. Let's do that, too.
Yeah, let's do that. Hey, now listen, I'm going to need to go up after this.
Well, that's all the games.
Oh, okay.
I played it a quick draw in the last round.
Oh, that's right. I have some things I need to do before school tomorrow.
I believe you.
Not me in
You're
school,
not just bored of the stream.
Archers. No, I'm exhausted is what I am. Exhausted.
All right, so it's analyzing these. Is it? Oh, game review. I still didn't do anything right. Can't see the H file.
I'm so tired. Chess is tiring. I mean, we played chess.
Okay, we're doing game reviews for both rounds 2 and 3. Round 1, I played 95.4, and he played 95.1. I'm surprised that it says I played that well. I think it's lying.
You know, we drove hours home. We had to go get the dogs.
We drove. Oh, snap. And Karen wasn't feeling well.
I wasn't feeling
I
well.
was scratching her back while I was driving my 4 hours.
I I had some very bad sinus pressure today. So I don't know if it's a cold. I think it's just allergies maybe. But I didn't feel well. And then I took Advil and 7-Eleven brand Sudafed.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That we bought on the way
Yeah.
home. And then I got nauseous, I guess, because I didn't have enough food on my stomach. But I recovered. Yeah, I'm better now. I'm just tired.
Okay, so one of them's done. Okay, in the game that I won against Fischer, where I won Rook and 2 versus Rook and 1, I played 96.2. He played 91.2. I made 51 best moves.
Yay.
And 2 great moves. Wow, I made no mistakes, no blunders, no missed wins. Just 2 inaccuracies. He made 1 blunder, 1 mistake, 1 inaccuracy.
Traveling is bad for your agoraphobia. Slow.
But I made 51 best moves, and he made 40 best moves. So I made more best moves. 51 best moves is a lot, because the game was only 40 moves long. That was 70 moves. I can't believe it says I played that well, because I don't think I played that well.
No, well, looks pretty good.
All right, now we're talking.
Yeah.
The game I beat Luciana Morales, I played 91. She played 83.7. I made 5 mistakes, but I still made more best moves. I made 3 great moves.
Yay, that's
3 great moves is a lot for me.
Thank you, Debt Flag
25
Farmer.
best moves and 18 best moves for her.
And welcome to the stream chatting.
She made 6
First chat.
inaccuracies, 2 mistakes, and 1 blunder, and I made 5 mistakes and 1 inaccuracy. So I didn't make inaccuracies, just mistakes.
Well, you don't need me for your second.
But anyway, I played in the 90s every game.
Yay, go Ben.
Yeah, Kasparov used to be good. Yeah, 91 was the worst I played. Is that right?
Yeah, see? You're not as
Still
bad as you
terrible.
say you are.
Yeah, but I'm playing Dufay, so, you know. If I was playing a Grandmaster, I'd play 70. Terrible.
I know it's hard to go back and look at the games, Wally. And Ben's already criticized my last game. Oh, I was passive for the several moves, and then I got aggressive. I can't help it that I'm passive in my games. I don't always.
Karen is passive aggressive.
I don't always have the most creative ideas.
So I won 2 rook and pawn endings that maybe should have been drawn. Well, first one obviously should have been drawn. This one I was always going to win.
Hey, maybe we should look at my game with Wally real quick.
You said
before
you
I
had
go.
to leave.
I do. I'm tired. Extremely tired. I lost. Wally beat me. Unless you're too tired to do it.
Too tired. I'm supposed to stream another hour.
Yeah, why don't we do my
I'm not
game
going to stream
real
another
quick?
hour, but I'm supposed
Then I'm
to.
going to go up and take more 7-Eleven Sudafed.
All right, where's your game?
Okay, so Wally Renfield beat me. Let me find it.
And then I'm going to put it on game review and see what the score is.
I hung a piece. And I didn't want to mess up my pawns. I could have, we'll see. I'm sure I didn't do anything right. And then,
That's Foxwoods.
I know.
Foxwoods lady.
I got to get there. And probably my
Coming to get you.
notation's not right.
There we go. Oh, you won?
No.
Well, if you lost, it was round 1 or 2. You won the next two.
I can't see without my glasses very well, honestly. Round 2. I can't even see it. I want to go upstairs and get them.
Round 2. Here it is.
Okay.
Walt Whitman. Yeah. Man, that was a long-ass game.
Well, you're joking, but now don't, say the real name.
I didn't say his real name.
I know. Oh,
But his real name is Walter White.
I mean, they could figure it out. This isn't going to be pretty well. I mean, how do you think I feel?
Hey, somebody already wrote Walter White. They got my joke before I got it.
Leaves of grass. Yeah.
Leaves of grass, my ass. Okay, first we'll look at my last round game with Magesh Panchanathan. He's a GM who's higher rated than me. Okay, we agreed to a draw. That was my last game. When the tournament ended, Panchanathan and, what's his name? Mora Diabati tied for first, and I tied for third with Tianqi Wang and Dominique Wilkins, the basketball player.
My game's embarrassing. Now, don't be too hard on me.
No, it's Dominique Myers, but close. They're like the same height, right?
Who?
Dominique Wilkins and Dominique Myers.
No.
No.
Opposite.
Dominique Myers makes Robert Hess look like a giant.
That might be true.
Rawr.
Well, I mean, am I taller than Dominique?
Yes,
Maybe.
maybe.
A little bit, maybe. I was so happy to see him. I haven't seen him in a long time.
I had such a good joke I didn't tell there. I thought about it like 3 seconds too late. When you said, am I taller than Dominique? I should have said when you were 10. Yeah.
Aw.
Man. Okay, this is my game. Now we'll look at Karen's game.
And
Karen.
we had to figure the notation.
Hey, the first moves were the same. D4, knight F6.
Hey, and I don't have my glasses with me. So
Okay, you get your glasses?
No, I'm tired.
Oh, I can do the notation.
I'm just, okay.
You're not going to help with the notation. How's that going to help? Okay, Karen's white. This is round 2 in the under 1400 section.
Thank you, Callie Gambler.
Karen played the London because, that's the kind of woman I marry.
And my
plays the London.
opponent is right here in the stream, Wally. He won. He beat me.
Yeah, his name's Wall-E, like the robot. Yeah.
Very nice opponent.
Okay,
you did give me the
G6.
beat down, though.
So far, this is my game with Komsky. Komsky played H3 here.
Yeah.
Okay, Bishop E2.
I don't know what went wrong in this game. I don't want to
H3.
hang in my piece.
He played Knight A6. Very suspicious, but not terrible. Okay, you just castle. Because you can play C4, Knight C3 sometimes. You don't have to play C3.
That's true. I didn't have to be in a hurry.
Yeah. Okay, C3 is okay. C5 is okay. Okay, Queen B3 is just a bad move. Your queen doesn't belong on B3.
Yeah.
It's just running into bishop here. Maybe you'll trade queens. No, you should castle. There's no reason not to
I'm
castle.
always a late castler.
Yeah, if you're not gonna castle, then you could play Knight BD2.
Knight BD2.
Well, I mean, this moving your queen out in the opening. What are you doing?
I don't know. And then
Yeah, bad.
and I'm always a late castler too. I'm trying to be a little better about
Okay, the engine likes CD.
judging it.
Yeah, you played a CD opponent. You played ED. That's correct.
Yeah, I realized my queen was no good over there.
Wow, the engine wants to play B5. God damn. Wow, B5.
I know it does nothing.
Wow, B5.
I don't always have the best ideas.
B5.
Got to go with it
All right.
and hit that clock.
B5. Now it says E5. It's really trying to punish your queen B3 by playing crazy. E5 is interesting. Then if you take knight C5. And then it says this pawn sacrifice is equal. I don't know, it looks like white's a pawn up to me. All right. So he played knight C7, a little passive. Okay, you played A4, or castles, I mean.
Finally. That wasn't as bad as it can.
He played rook E8 because he wanted to play E5. E5 is not really something he needs to play because he's blocking his bishop doing that. But if he plays B5, bishop B7, he could play some queenside counterplay here. Okay, now I want you to play A4. This is where you played super aggressive and crazy.
In this game, I can't remember.
Yeah, you played knight G5.
Oh yeah, this is where I've been told to play more aggressively.
Right, but
So-
your knight's on B1. So you got to develop your pieces, then play
There are
aggressive.
going to be some missteps when you change
Right.
your style.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
been
your
told.
knight shouldn't be on B1 on move 10 of a London.
I got it.
You got to get your
I
knight
got
out
it.
somewhere. Okay, now I want him to go here.
Yeah.
Because that way his e-pawn isn't blocking his bishop. He played e6. Okay, also possible. Now the engine wants you to play what move?
I
And it says you're better because it doesn't like e6 very much.
don't
Forcing the weakness. It wants you to go back.
know. I'll go back.
Yeah, because your knight's good on f3.
Okay.
Okay, you played knight d2. This is a blunder, I guess. Yeah, and now you're losing to his move. Knight fd5, and all your pieces are loose.
Yeah.
See, now, I talked to Narrativsky a little after Karen left, because I said, look, man. And he said, I like Karen, she's loose. And I was like, look, dude. All right, so now you're losing because your pieces are all hanging.
Yeah.
That's the problem with knight g5 is it's aggressive, but if the guy takes it, that's bad.
Well,
Yeah, now you don't have, and you knew that things were bad, so you played knight f7. Good.
right. And
That's the best move.
And I'm pretty sure Wally was just as surprised as me by the turn of events.
Yeah, then he took, that's correct, because his queen's attacked.
I think he's told me
Then
that.
you went back here.
But you can. Yes, you were, Wally.
He went back, king g8.
Wally's like, wait, she's taking my f pawn. What's going on?
All right, bishop f3. So now
That's
you're
how we
playing. You're
play.
playing without a piece, but you got a pawn.
That's how we roll.
Rook b8, knight c4. You could have played queen a3, threatening this pawn and this pawn, which probably traps your queen, but still it likes to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, knight c4, you threatened the pawn, and he didn't do anything about it, which confused me. Maybe he didn't see bishop f8. Always play bishop f8. Yeah, you attacked his pawn, he let you take it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, just bishop f8, and the engine says good. Okay, so you got one of your pawns back. Now you're barely losing. It says he's +1. Because not only do you have 2 pawns for a piece, but you have a much better pawn structure. Your pieces are all active.
Yeah, that's why I didn't move my pawn to
Okay,
protect
he
the
played b5.
piece. Don't want to mess up my pawns.
Okay.
You
B5
said to
is
hell
okay.
with the pawn, literally. Yeah, that's what I did in Day Crispies. You got to make the best with what you got.
The engine wants you to play c4 here because his b pawn's pinned.
Yeah.
And then you could play c5 and cement your knight.
Oh.
So it likes doing that.
I like that.
It says he's +1, but... You know.
Although then what about that, the bishop bearing down on the d4 pawn?
Yep, I would be worried about that too. But that opens up the d file for some tactics here.
That I'm great at.
Okay, so you played a3 solid.
I was worried my
You
queen.
played rook b6.
Reading
Interesting.
room there.
Interesting. You played knight here. Wants you to take the bishop, but I don't blame you for keeping pieces on the board. I think practically that's a better idea.
Yeah, I was worried about all that.
Okay,
Yeah.
he played knight f6. It always wants to play knight f4 for him. Every move it's like knight f4.
Okay.
Then you play knight c5. Agree. Engine agrees. Knight d5. You didn't say which one, but it was obviously this one. Because he played knight h5 next move. You played rook fe1. Yeah, the engine says you're only down 1 here. Like, not
Yeah.
even losing.
I was so demoralized this whole time.
But you got 2
I know.
pawns, and all your pieces are good. And your pawn structure is better.
Yeah.
You have all kinds of advantages. Okay, knight h5, he put it in h. Okay, now in this position, you can just win a pawn. Now the engine says this is equal. And the reason you can win a pawn, and by the way, I was watching the game here,
Yeah.
is this guy's loose. He's loosey-goosey.
Okay.
So you play knight takes e6 and get rid of the defense.
Okay.
I saw that. I don't know if it was good. The engine says this is equal now. You're not losing anymore.
Okay. Yes.
So if he takes with the rook, obviously this is already winning for you. So he has to take with the bishop. Then you always sack the exchange because you're crushing him on that diagonal. If he takes, you take this and you're winning. +4 for you because you're winning this whole rook. So he has to take on f3. So you can't play bishop takes. Then you take this. Then he takes this. Every move is a, what do you call it?
Oh my
a
goodness.
desperado. That's just a desperado. Then take this, threatening this and this. Then he's supposed to desperado his rook. And then knight f4 check. And somehow this is equal, this position. He has 3 pieces for 2 rooks.
I mean, none of this was gonna ever happen. But
No, this is what should happen.
yeah. Well.
No, but you should take on e6 because you're crushing him on d5. You're getting rid of his defense.
Okay.
This would be a good tactics puzzle.
Yeah.
Because if you don't play knight e6, you're losing or worse. If you played, it's equal. And that was the main line. That was the 4 sequence. But the point, I saw this move, and I thought it might be good because I was watching your game while I'm playing my game. But I didn't have a lot of time to study it. But I saw the rook takes e6, and this is hanging. I saw that, and I just left. I was like, I don't know. Okay.
Listen, let me just stop for a second to interject and say that even though I was demoralized, I had all sorts of people coming and looking at our game. And that wasn't true for all my games because people thought the game was interesting.
This is an important tactic, removing the defender and opening the diagonal to the king. Like knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes, and the knight is not supported. Because you're on his knight a lot, so getting rid of the defense of his knight is important.
I should, yeah.
And on the diagonal, you like pins.
I feel like I am capable of at least seeing some of that. I do think
so.
I am.
You played. You really don't want to give this bishop away. That's the greatest bishop ever on f3.
I thought about it a long time.
Okay, so
you
took.
Thought that maybe I could pick up some pawns later.
Now you played bishop e5. The engine wants you to play rook e4 and double rooks and attack this some more.
Okay.
Because your rook on a1 is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay, you played bishop e5. You don't want to trade pieces because you're down material. And his bishop's not very good here. It's hitting against this brick wall. It's a brick wall.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, the engine really hates that.
I was
move.
trying to get a tempo so that I could double it up for free almost.
Okay, he played queen g5. Yeah, the problem is when your bishop is gone, your king has no defense.
Yeah.
Okay, you took. And now the game's over. But he took back. Instead of taking back, he can threaten mate in 1.
Oh.
So G3 is the only move, because you get mate in 1 if you don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, then, it's check.
I'd forgotten about
Damn.
reliving the
damn.
horrors of
You
the
can't
game.
you can't go here because you get mated. So you have to go here, then knight takes check, and then you can take the bishop whenever he feels like it. Or he could try to mate you. But you just take the bishop. So you should have played, this is a good Zwischenzug.
Yeah.
And it's a good, what's the Italian word?
I was worried about the knight coming in.
Whatever the Italian word. Okay, so he took the bishop with the king.
Switch into.
Intermezzo.
Oh,
That's
intermezzo,
the,
yeah.
I'll put it. Okay. Gorlami. Gorlami. Oh, say it one more time.
That's not the worst mate you made?
Gorlami. Okay, you played here. The problem with trading the dark squared bishops is his bishop was no good, and your bishop was the only piece defending your king, so knight f4 is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like winter is coming, but it's knight f4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he played rook f5, and you decided to move your rook back. Okay, and then he played knight f4. That's the problem. Yeah. Now you made a very nice decision. Mm-hmm. You can lose all of your pawns and get mated, or you can sack the exchange.
Right.
Yeah, that was correct.
Yeah,
Thanks, Gary the Gray.
And then I'm just like, man, this is like the worst. I'm just down on this material.
That's okay. I was down material before you were born. Why did I play rook f1 when you played queen c2? Okay. So now he's just up a rook, so he should win. But I think it got interesting later. Mm-hmm. Dominic de Coco. Yeah, this is just a bad move because you play knight d3. Well, it doesn't matter. He's still winning. I shouldn't say it's bad when it's fine. Yeah. Now bishop b7. Wow, these all his moves are good. Threatening mate. Mm-hmm. Again.
It was tough.
It's funny, you're up 3 pawns. Even if you weren't up a rook, he has good compensation for 3 pawns because of this great battery. This great, this is really good.
Yeah.
But he's up a rook too. Okay, now it says you should never play f3, but you didn't play f3. Good. It says he just takes it, but you played g3. Now it wants him to play h4, putting it in h. Always put it in h. Probably you'd play g4 there. And he played rook f6. I don't know which one. I'm going to guess this one.
Thank you for the gift subs, Gary. Thank you again.
That seems like he probably played that one.
Yeah, hang on one second. I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anybody. I did. I think we forgot to thank Gary for those other gift subs.
No, I thanked him.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I thanked him a long time ago. Oh, I give another one. Yeah.
Well, he just gave another one.
Right, but I did the first one.
Oh, okay. Well, and then he did some before that, I thought. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so
3 times.
you played rook f1.
Okay.
Now again he should play. Oh, now he has forced checkmate. This is very nice. Black to play and mate. Yes, mate. Immediate mate.
Oh.
This is nice too.
In 1?
No.
Oh.
Not in 1. In 1 you both would have saw it.
Yeah, okay.
This is a good. This would be like one of your tactics you solve when we do the puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
This would be an easy one in the ones we do. This wouldn't be over 2200.
Let me see. Oh, yeah. Queen takes G3.
Very nice.
Oh,
you have to take it because it's the only
because of
legal
that
move.
bishop. Yeah, that's a very... Oh, yeah. Darn. I was just so worried about all of these moves that were going to make me. Yeah, that's a really common tactic. I didn't see it during the game.
Okay, so instead he played rook f4. Okay, that's legal.
Darn, I'm so bad.
Then you put it in h. King h2. Well, now it says h4 is forced mate. h4. I'm always playing g4 here. I am. Oh, rook f3. Yeah, your king's not doing so well here. I understand. All right. Okay, h4 is made in 9 moves. It announces mate. He played... It doesn't matter. He's up a rook. So every move wins.
Yeah.
Until it doesn't. Rook e4. The computer's confused now. Okay. You played h4. Queen h. Now he has mate in 2. Rook takes pawn check. If you play king here, this is mate. And if you take his rook, he plays queen g2 mate.
Darn, we're missing all these.
And if you don't see that, you can play queen takes h4 check and mate that other way.
Darn, we're so bad, Wally, but you're better than me.
So queen h6.
I didn't
now,
see any of that. I mean,
Karen was not worried about her king's side, as she now showed. a4.
Well, no.
Look over there. Don't look at my king.
No, I was trying to get my queen up into the back to the 7th rank, and so I thought that I could get over that way. I wasn't trying to do anything with the pawns.
Rook h4 is still good here, but it's not mate. It just wins you. It's still a good move. Okay, he played rook e6. Okay, and you played a takes b5, and he sacked the exchange. Now, he played rook takes e5. You took, and he played rook takes e5. So I can't tell from the score which one he did. Do you remember? I can't look through the game because he did both. We'll never know which one he did.
Wally?
This one or this one?
Which rook? Rook 6. The top one.
Okay, so he did that.
Yeah.
The engine says that's the best move. Yeah, and now after you took, he has mate again. So he took this. It's the same deviled egg. If king here, this is mate. It's the same mate. If he takes the rook, queen f4 check, and he's getting you diagonally.
Yeah.
That's like you and Nerdisk were talking about once. Yeah, then here, check and mate.
Yeah. This game is so bad.
Okay, so you played rook takes
I'm only showing it because Wally's here.
You played c4, which is... Okay, here it says you're barely lost. Yeah, c4 is the best move. Now you have 3 pawns for a bishop, and your king is still a little funny. If 2 engines were playing, black would still win. Queen f6. Now you made a very weakening move. You missed this move. You thought he was going to go here and mate you. So you played f4.
Right. Okay.
f4 in the long run is no good because the 7th rank.
Yeah.
Watch this move. c5. Then if he goes here, you block that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now he's not winning.
Because I was looking the whole time how to block that stupid.
Yeah, you had to play c5, c6 quick.
Darn.
After here, he's supposed to go here so his bishop doesn't get blocked. Then you play queen c3 so he can't mate you.
Hey, you won, Wally. That's the important point.
Okay, so you played f4, slightly weakening, slightly. But you stopped queen f3.
I thought that.
Now here you played rook e4. You should play rook e3. You don't want to block your bishop. Your bishop's looking good there. Okay, you played b3, solid. Queen e6. God damn. Yeah. So when the game ended and we had a talk, maybe the next day, maybe it was the same day, I said when he played here, which I think is now, yes. Yeah. I said, man, if he played here, I didn't think the game was going to go much longer.
Yeah. True.
The engine says plus 73 for black. That's not good. Yeah, because that's annoying. But he played for the other way of mating. He played bishop here so he could get his queen in here.
Yeah.
Okay, then you played f5. Good. And he played queen e8. Queen e5 makes more sense. This is a little passive. Okay, now, if you want to play queen g5 check, I assume when you played here, you wanted to play queen g5 check.
Yeah.
Okay, you should play queen c1 because of what happened in the game. In fact, the engine says queen d1 is equal. It says you're not losing anymore. You have 3 pawns for a piece and just normal position. The reason this is bad is because of what he did. He played a brilliant move here. Because your queen and king are lined up. So he took this so you can't take because he wins your queen. And now his bishop gets to defend his king too, and he wins this important pawn.
Yeah.
You're still not losing here, it says. But yeah, you could play queen c1 if you want to play queen g5, because then you can take the bishop. Your queen and king aren't lined up. This was a brilliant move. Now you have to forget about the king side and go to the queen side. Because now you're threatening his bishop because rook check doesn't win your queen anymore. And you're threatening to get 3 passed pawns. Queen takes a7 check. And the engine says like black is slightly better here.
Well, what if They go rook e2.
Rook e2, queen takes a7, check defends your rook.
Oh, gotta check.
Yeah, now you got a lot of
Oh, yeah, I didn't
a
see
lot of that going
I
on.
didn't see that. I didn't see
Right, it
that.
still says it's a draw. But yeah, it's hard for him to win with material. He has to mate you because his pawns aren't very helpful. Okay, so you play queen g5 check, I think. Yeah. Bishop g6 check.
I mean, the rest of the moves are just running around.
All right, now you should play c5 again. You gotta get your pawn going. He can't run around with his queen because you have queen f8 mate. Your queen and rook are a battery here, so you want to just push this pawn. Yeah, then it's still a win for black, but it's hard because you're pushing this pawn.
All right, I just didn't know what
You played rook here,
hard.
threatening rook here. Okay, not bad. He played rook e2. Okay, you took, he took. This isn't easy to win either. You put it in h. You should play king g1. You want to keep your king on dark squares.
Okay.
Too risky to stay on a white square.
Yeah, I mean, I saw they had queen g4.
Turns out he's okay. You're okay.
Oh, now
here.
it says the
Queen g4.
yeah.
King h2. Always repeat. Okay, then he played bishop e4. And now you have perpetual check. Yeah, you checked on the wrong square and let his king walk up the board.
Yeah.
You have to check on the 6th rank, so his king can't walk up. So this move, this says is a draw, queen e6. And then stay on the 6th rank.
Yeah, that was my mistake. I thought I had a perp. I don't know what. I just messed it up.
Yeah, just stay over here. Yeah, he can't escape this way because you have queen a3 check. So there's just nowhere to escape. Okay, so instead of playing queen e6, you play queen g5.
The game.
Yeah,
will
now you're
end.
actually losing. Now his
Yeah.
king gets to run away.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah. Then you have only one check. And now you still only have one check, right? Queen h6.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, and he's walking up the board.
definitely.
Oh, this is a blunder, king e5. He should play bishop g6 and you're out of checks. Instead he played here, now you can draw again. So this was your last mistake, was in this position. Oh no, you played right here. You played queen g7. It's to stop his king from running up.
Right.
King d6, this is a draw now. Queen f8, that's correct. King c7. Yeah, this is the draw that you had before. Yep, still a draw. King b7, this is still a draw. Oh, and here you should play queen d6, because if he goes here, you go here. And he's not getting anywhere.
Yeah, he got
But
away.
you played queen d8 instead. And now he's winning, because now he has two ways to get up. And you can't stop them both. Then he escapes.
Yeah, that's what happened.
So this was the last mistake. Queen here would have been a draw.
Darn.
Yeah, there's nothing even to look at, because this is just this. And then king here is queen here. As long as you see queen a3, you'll draw.
Yeah, that's true, Wally. Yeah, you did the right thing.
Okay, so you play queen d8, which is a mistake. And now you're actually losing again. Then queen e7, king d4, queen f6, king d3, queen d6, king c2.
Yeah, and then he's yeah. I just went ahead and let him make.
Doesn't
me.
matter what you do here.
Yeah,
Right?
he's gonna make me.
And then mate.
Yeah,
I have to promote everything, I think.
I mean, I let him make me, but I mean, I didn't resign. Is what I mean. She was terrifying. I thought I did, fine being down a piece in J. Crispy. You just got to make the best of what you have.
All right, time for analysis.
I know I should have seen it. I agree, Bonarici. I should have seen it. But you got the wrong. Oh, for that, my gosh.
It just has the names. I just put it over my game.
Oh,
I made your line the main line. If it says in the 90s, then we're looking at my game. But my game was 5 moves long. So my game might actually be close to 100.
well, no, I
Chess
didn't.
is tough.
I didn't play Magesh. This is the wrong names, and I didn't even notice that. It's me versus Wally.
Oh, I've seen Wally. I've seen 7 and 4. You guys didn't play 7 or 4. Yeah, you guys played in the 40s, I would say.
No, I lost a piece pretty.
40s.
pretty quickly. But GG, Wally.
Hopefully they play better than 40, so I was wrong. No, I've seen single-digit accuracy numbers, 7, 4. One of the games I played 1.8. Because I was giving all the pieces away on purpose to make a bishop and knight. So like every move I made was a blunder.
I've never even heard of. I remember that now.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it being that low before.
92 in your list. That's better than I played.
That's great.
I showed you the GM drug, Cali Gambler. Already been shown on stream. Boo.
It wasn't that exciting, Callie. It was
5 moves.
Yeah, I mean, it was a buddy draw.
Let's see. 80. Oh, that's my game. And this is my game with Fischer. And this is your game. Go, Karen. It'll be done shortly.
Oh, you didn't miss. You missed the other games were interesting events, but the draw was
no. But
not
considering you lost a piece in the end of the opening vanilla game, you fought back to an equal position.
Yeah, I just thank you.
Okay, you played 59.6 and he played 63.1.
Yeah, catch it on YouTube.
You both made 4 great moves and he made 2 brilliant moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. I never played any brilliant moves, but too many blunders and mistakes.
Yeah, I enjoyed our game, Wally. And
50s and 60s, those were the days.
I'm not even gonna show my first round game on stream. That was my second round that I lost to Wally.
You saying your first round you think was worse than that?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, the truth hurts.
Then, but the third round. Yeah, the third round he just made I was up a pawn pretty quickly in French, and then he made a strange decision because he didn't see a tactic, and so I just took all his pieces.
Yeah, she took all of his pieces. She actually did take all of them.
I took all of his pieces.
Right.
My queen got on his back range.
Yeah, her queen came down and she checked, take.
It was just like I was playing at 200 level. But prior to that, it was normal.
Right. Before you give all his pieces away, the game was fine.
He just didn't see a tactic, and he thought that he could trade his queen for my rooks, but unfortunately, I had a battery that I saw.
You had this battery.
I had a battery.
Bishop on D7, queen on G2.
And I saw the battery.
And his king was running around, and you were taking one piece after another.
Take. Just, it was like, I mean, I could see, the question, which is a silly question, but how many moves can you see ahead? I mean, I saw like 8 moves ahead. I'm serious. It was easy to see because they were all forcing moves. So I was like a god in that one moment. The game is not that exciting for RPG.
Now you know what it's like when Karen has a gun.
But I did see several moves ahead. I'm like, oh no, I can do all this. It's fine if he takes my rooks. I got this. I'm gonna do this.
We'll look at those games on another stream, possibly with Spencer, possibly with me.
Yeah, the games will get looked at, but not tonight.
Indeed. We're tired because we just drove 4.5 hours and picked up our dogs and played chess today. And Spencer is streaming.
Yeah, okay, so we end a little early. Definitely we'll say thank you guys, and thank you, Wally, for going over the game with us.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. You guys are the best, etc. Mainly, etc.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
I stream tomorrow, 7 to 11 p.m.
See you.
Thanks, CL Smith, for the cent-to-dos. Bye.